And looking at the bans, very appropriate. I think everyone has seen the potency of Undying. Everyone has seen what Marcy can do as well. These heroes seem incredibly powerful. And then I think the other ones, looking at these bans, they're very team appropriate. The Shaker and the Chen. Not to say these aren't strong heroes as well, but specialties for some.
Let's have a look, see what Secret are going to grab them for their opening. Definitely feel yeah, as you say, these opening bans probably not going to change too much as the series develops. We're going to have a first pick Tusk here for Secret.
Okay, similar to what they were doing at ESL. I think they literally were doing this the entire time there. That first pick Tusk or first pick Ogre and stuff like that. So just wanted to have that tanky, active playmaker, BKB piercing, disable, etc. Save.
10 seconds remaining.
Absolutely, yeah, that snowball save, messing with the offensive potential of a lot of very popular heroes right now. Can make huge moves around that.
And just having a BKB here is really nice. And okay, so sticking to the traditional, this is literally what they opened with in ESL multiple times. So let's see if there's going to be an early counter pick to Enigma. The big ones, of course, we've seen a lot of different answers, at least from different regions, but Wyvern is kind of one that sticks out heavily. But looking at like China and stuff, they're even doing like Warlocks, Venge, tons of different counters to set up later on in the game. Maybe not Warlock this early, but maybe Wyvern.
Dire team back.
Let's have a look. They're going to opt for the Pangolier. All right, so solid hero all round. And, you know, if you get that Basher down the line, we'll give you that bit of a potential to not only pierce the BKB, but of course, Lincolns ain't going to do anything against it, that sort of ability to get a ranged bash in with a swashbuckler.
10 seconds remaining.
Lots of team fight already for Into the Breach, so mid-game should look pretty decent, depending on the other heroes, of course, that are picked up. Tusk can mess with Pango a little bit, though. The shards can, you know, if you see like Secrets early, you can block him off a lot of times.
Dire team back.
Can be a little bit harder. I like Pango quite a lot versus Enigma, though. Clearing out the Eidolons, even in lanes and stuff like that, is nice if you're up against him.
Absolutely. And for it being Into the Breach as well, do we sort of have a read of which position we are going to get this Pango in?
I guess not too sure at the moment. I know they've played it. I know they've played it in multiple roles.
5 seconds remaining.
So it's mostly, I think, offlane. I think has been one of the more of the roles, and that's probably what it's going to be. But
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Shiba definitely does like that.
And now we'll see, you know, sort of this stage of the drafting phase normally focused towards those very meta carry heroes that we've been getting. Obviously, one of the biggest that still stands out is the Faceless Void. We've had that. What was that in the previous series? Was that in all 3 games?
I believe so.
I mean, it definitely
at least 2 of the games.
Yeah.
My mind draws a blank very quickly after the games once I start getting into the mode of the next game.
10 seconds.
We've been across the board in your pubs and in the competitive scene. We've been seeing a lot of Faceless Void. A very, very strong hero right now. So always a risk if you don't take it out in the second phase. We'll see Secret removing the Naga Siren. Obviously identifying that so far they don't really have the best illusion clearing heroes, and maybe they don't want to be picking them.
Yeah, also they're prepping themselves for like this good lane for Enigma, right? I see this Bristle ban, Naga ban, so just always wanted to make sure that the Rezo is able to have a good time if there's going to be a 90% chance it will be.
For sure.
Yeah. That's kind of been like, I feel like people aren't finding an extra carry solution, at least the lane versus the Enigma as well. I think Bristle's the only one that I've seen that actually just, in the lane, in the game, it fares well, because even if you get Black Hold, if your back is turned, you just coil like crazy, so... And you're just super tanky. You can just keep running through the Enigma when Black Hole's on cooldown. So I'm waiting to see what people are gonna experiment with.
I've got a big brain one. A big brain hero that nobody's doing safe lane, and it could be terrible, but it is that physical ability that maybe helps steal with the Eidolons. I don't know if the numbers check out well enough, but could a safe lane Ember Spirit be something that teams aren't trying, but maybe a way of killing those Eidolons? Max Light.
I don't know. I mean, sounds probably not enough damage, to be honest.
Because, you know, for sure, a long time this hero, Slight did less damage to the creep, but not anymore, right? Not anymore. Just saying.
10 seconds remaining.
Just saying.
We've seen safe lane Ember.
We have, it was,
5 seconds
not the greatest,
remaining.
for sure. But, good.
You got to think outside the box. You got a big brain, especially if you're going up against Secret. Absolutely. Into the Breach is, on paper, should be a tough matchup for them. But there's good potential, and there is, dare I say it, star talent in this team. Newer players like Ari, right? He popped up in the DPC. He's been popping off. And I'm not just saying that because he's British.
I mean, the whole team is definitely interesting for Into the Breach, right? They have Kadaro, who's very young, but he's the captain of this team. It's very rare to see that, as far as we've heard from them. Sure, we see Otaker picking, but what we'd heard from them, at least in the DPC, that he was the one kind of making shots in game. And I think they still have Milan, right? Milan
they do. He's on your camera right now.
10 seconds
so
remaining.
Milan is still chilling. He's still doing the picks and everything for them. And okay, Pudge. Maybe this could be another
5
solution at least
remaining.
versus Enigma. And now they have versus like Ench creeps. They have the Frostbite. They have the hook to kill them instantly. That can be a pretty cool solution. And I've been a fan of, I mean, just carry Pudge in general.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been sort of, winning some of these games where it's very easy to forget just how ridiculously strong Pudge becomes at a certain point. You're seeing these traditional carries just struggle to burst through him or be able to sort of just stand their ground against him in the late portions of the game if he's have a decent time. And being a Pudge, you certainly expect to have pretty easy farm in the lane. You're going to get those items. You're going to have some sort of targeted way for you to be dealt with. And at the moment, when you consider the heroes from Secret, I guess they have got the Midnight Pulse. But outside of that, they may start to have to really consider what's going to be able to match up against a Pudge as he gets bigger and fatter as the game goes on.
And they could do the traditional Ursa if they want to go down that line.
I like it.
One that a lot of people have been looking at with some Roche control.
Invoker.
Okay, I mean, we get a treat, guys, everybody. Honestly,
Let's go.
I have to say it. Nisha, I think everyone even remembers the game in ESL that they played where they were so far behind in this series, and he almost clutched.
He almost clutched it. He really did.
I'm so excited.
That was the rare game, right, where
remaining.
he was actually given MVP on the losing team. Because
it was the OG series. It was the OG series that they got
remaining.
knocked out, if I remember correctly. And he was going. He was the only one. Everybody's 1 in 10 on the team, and he's 14-1 with Hex and Timeless Relic and Agonies and stuff. So
absolutely.
Whatever. Either way, Nisha, we're always going to be in a treat when we watch him. We get to see an Invoker, which is always a very flashy hero. And look at a couple interesting things in particular. It gives you massive burst damage, of course, versus Death Prophet and Pudge, but you also now have a safer Dispel versus Pango, which would be something really nice. Because Ench, sometimes you can get the Dispel off, but I think Invoker is guaranteed you always get these tornadoes to be able to do that. Now we look at bans. So now they're addressing not only just Chrysalis' heroes, but also the Pudge counters. So we see the Razor ban, the Ursa ban that we mentioned. Razor, of course, I think everyone looks at that's the only hero Chrysalis plays.
5 seconds remaining.
Of course, going to be able to see that ban. And Secret, taking out the melee killers, and even just Eidolon killers again. 4 of their bans feel like it's about the safe laners that take out Eidolons, or potentially could be.
The other sort of Chrysalis hero that sort of falls down the realms of the Ursas and stuff, it's that Monkey King, of course,
Okay.
I think it's sort of Master Tier on. Very good Monkey King player. It's banned.
Oh, it's banned.
They banned that, yeah. That's
Good
the other
call.
one indeed. I think Monkey King, out of the heroes that he plays in the same amount of games on, that is the one still there. But it's not really it doesn't seem like an easy Monkey King game.
Secrets turn to
The Wukong
They'll respect it. They'll respect it.
It's
the only other hero that's sort of the one that he's played an insane amount of games on. So they pretty much just banned out everything that Chrysalis has got hundreds of games on. So he's going to have to go for something a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, the ban makes sense though. Pango doesn't like to roll into Wukongs in a lot of
10
situations.
seconds.
I
Against
guess.
you can just
True.
die, and then the lane can be really difficult. So I like that. Personally, I
5
think the ban
seconds
is quite nice. 'Cause
remaining.
these are heroes that just provide you overwhelming damage,
Yeah.
right? So Pudge and Pango, these tankier heroes, just actually can't survive the
Dire
mid-game
team
if they're both
pick.
up. So
A final ban, and
it's all the
TA.
Eidoloners, right? It's all the ones that can somehow clear those Eidolons in away from a distance. Psyblades. I mean, Kunkka could have probably been a mid ban because
I think they are right. It's sort of Nisha calling for what he doesn't want to match against.
Perhaps, yeah. I can agree with that.
10
But it's likely a
seconds
Death Prophet
remaining.
mid when you look at the.
I mean,
Oh,
I
actually,
don't know.
never mind.
I don't think it will be.
5 seconds remaining.
No, you're right, actually.
Because I think it's going to be a safe lane Pudge.
So they need a
Jibe,
second support.
I think they've left it. Yeah, exactly. Unless they want to do a support DP, which we did see do very well in other regions.
Yes, we saw Seneko. do
Seneko
well, but
crushed
I
with it.
don't know how I feel about it as a 4. That's the only role that I'm a little. I mean, the hero's insanely strong. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like 4 might be the worst role that it's in. I think 1, 2, 3, and 5 it looks really good on DP. 4 DP.
Team Secrets turn to
Could probably still win.
Oh, and here we go. Void Spirit, a hero that definitely seems like it's fallen out of favor. Not the go-to core hero that he used to be. Because just patch after patch, if you just look at the numbers, they've just gone kind of downhill for all of his
10
toolkit
seconds
across the
remaining.
board right over each patch.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, he's into limited,
5
some limited
seconds
disables
remaining.
this game. You can see it. Like, the Malefice is there. It can be a little annoying for the initial stun, but Tusk, you know, Enchantress, these heroes, they don't have like this instant stun.
Faceless Void.
Choose your hero.
And they get the late game insurance.
But I don't know, man. If you're getting a last pick Void in this patch, and you've got an Invoker to back it up, and your team, I think you're pretty happy here. They may have banned out all of the Crystalisy heroes, but they leave the Void in, and it's a Void patch, Fog.
It is not only it's a
And
Void
a
patch, but
faceless
also there's an
Void patch, not a
Invoker
Void
and an
Spirit.
Enigma.
That's-
This is like the
yeah.
craziest late game potential and the craziest team fight and scaling kind of going on for Secret.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable because it's also limited, as we said, limited BKB disables versus this Enigma. Sure, you've got hooks and Pango bashers, etc. And if Death Prophet has ulti running in the Enigma ult, you can maybe kill him or stop him or something like that. But I mean, Secret's draft looks terrifying.
It does.
Into the Breach has to have some really good pacing and some really strong mid game, or I mean, they can't take this to the late game. They'll just straight lose. So they have to have a really explosive mid game, which they can do. They have a lot of team fight.
They do. I mean, both teams with a last pick Void, but in this patch, one is not quite like the other. So we'll have to see. Looking forward to this one, of course. Secret versus Into the Breach with this overall. And as you say, they've got to smash this early to mid game right into the Breach.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Team Secret, one of these heroes presses R, catches a couple of heroes in, the team fights are going to be deadly for Into the Breach to enter into.
Absolutely. I'm going to be looking forward to see how they do in lanes because it's this Death Prophet Pango lane. Pango overall not really traditionally played as support anymore. I know in the past was played a lot more, but the hero has definitely become like kind of different, at least in the support role. It's a lot weaker because you can't actually like shield crash and just tank as long. It's only that short duration. So we'll see how they do top. This could be a really devastating lane versus Enchantress and Void. We'll see what creeps puppies gets and stuff like that. But
I mean, as far as Pango is Ari's hero.
That is.
I'm just looking at his sort of win rate now. So on his pub games, he's got 270 games on it. It's his second highest. That way, 271 games Pango, 272 Slug. So basically, his most played support hero in the position that he's playing today, 60% win rate. So if Ari's going to perform here, this is the hero to put him on. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's see. I'm worried because of like the time dilation plus the Enchantress just constant harassment versus these two, but maybe just Death Prophet is strong enough to offset it because of Spirit Siphon and he'll be okay with the backup of Ari.
Now, let's see.
Let's see how it all goes.
Just flat out, I'm concerned because one of these teams got a last pick faces forward. I really think that's something that you're not going to see get to happen too much, at least as the qualifiers go on. This hero, insane. And it really is. It's not like there's a lack of backup for the Void this game. It's Void Invoker.
Look at this. They're trying. They got this vision for a second here.
Oh, here we go. A little cheeky hook potential here from Otika.
But look, Nisha is playing it. He knows.
Oh, they're going to see.
They see Kadaro first.
Maybe Otaka can still get a hook in.
Oh, the Frostbite.
Oh, he doesn't want to do it. There's too many members of Secret here. It's too hard of a fight for Into the Breach to take. Even if they land a hook, the chances of bursting through a hero without losing something themselves pretty low.
Okay, we also, we get Blessed, so of course it is also going to be this Exort, even early game. Not going to go for the Crosswex to start. He's playing this, so that's going to be cool. We're going to see these Global Sunstrike setups. Also, I mean, the potential, of course, as we mentioned, there's a reason why we said the late game Secrets is going to be insane. The Cataclysm plus Chrono.
Yes.
And let's see.
Not a whole lot you can do against that. And one thing as well that Into the Breach may suffer with is, so that Chrono comes down, they don't really have supports that are going to be able to back you up defensively, right? No sort of buffs, heals. The only save they have is the Pudge hook.
Yes, Pudge will have to be the one that kind of bails out somebody else, and he's the one that's probably going to get caught inside most of those spells because he's a one position. So, yeah, let's see how these lanes fail. Let's see how the Void Spirit's able to do versus the Invoker Exort. Exort has got it, of course, buffed a little bit. Nice deny.
Well done there by Supreme, grouping up with the range creep, so the damage gets split. But yeah, absolutely. Overall, excited to see what Void Spirit can do as last, because of course, with that being that held to that high priority at that final selection for Into the Breach, they obviously feel there's still a lot of potential with this hero.
Up top,
something that other teams aren't really. We'll see them try and chase down Rezo. He'll get caught by another Frostbite, but not enough damage to take him down from range. So Rezo's going to be fine.
They did something pretty cool here, actually, is Kadaro's going to get gone on again, but there's no Eidolon, so he should be fine. They actually used the Frostbite on the Eidolons. They used 2 Frostbites just to kill 2 of the Eidolons, and then they actually got the 3rd one. So they killed all 3, and they might get Rezo.
That's a lovely little hook there from Attacker, right between the creep and Zayas. I mean, if they sort of had better foresight there, maybe Zayats would have had the ability to block it, but indeed, straight down the middle of them, and that's first blood for Into the Breach off the back of a lovely hook.
I love the way they did the first wave. Honestly, I think that's super clever. Something I haven't seen before people utilize. I've seen them use like Chens and Enchantresses, but I haven't ever seen someone use a CM to just frostbite an idol on
It's
a
smart.
That's cool.
It's a new approach, and you've got to be trying these different approaches against such a incredibly meta hero right now that some teams will just pick every single game in their first phase.
Yep. And now we'll see mid. This is going to be the lane that's a little tough for Supreme. This Forge Spirits. He has to make sure that he always gets at least one of the runes. You can always use a Forge Spirit to check one rune, and you body check with the other one with your hero. So it's all about Supreme ensuring that he at least is able to get one of them, because he's going to lose out on CS versus an Exort Invoker. He needs to ensure that he has the healing at least from those water runes.
It's not gonna be an easy lane for him.
And looking at bottom, I'm already seeing a bit of the issue that I was kind of thinking that was going to happen down here. Pango doesn't provide the same as he used to, or almost ever really, as like a laning partner. So Jibe is just getting full zoned out right now from Puppey, and Crystallis is free farming.
And this just, in your mind, doesn't get better as the sort of the lane progresses and the levels come in. It's just consistently going to be a matchup that Pango will have to deal with this time dilation and struggle.
Yeah, I mean, Jibe maybe with the siphons can actually always end up like surviving and stuff like that, but it's definitely going to reflect on his last hits how much he gets zoned from Puppey with Ari unable to help.
No, for sure. I mean, as with most Death Prophet lanes, right, it's just going to be down to that situation of, if Secret maybe see an opportunity to get aggressive and they don't quite kill Jibe, and then turnaround potential comes in with the Death Prophet and the siphons, then it's going to look good for Into the Breach. But if Secret don't make that sort of mistake or overextension, if things stay static, Secret's going to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Crystallis, the thing about Void versus Death Prophet also, I think this is why they also went for last pick, is you can just break the siphon in lane really easy. You just jump away most of the times. Up top, Hidaro. Rezo's actually gone on.
I mean, Rezo's going to be in a lot of trouble. They turn with the Frostbite attacker running down Resolution. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, he hit a banger of a hook early, but there's no excuse for that one, Fog. That was a point-blank range miss.
I'm typing dash ping. Okay, he's not
I would right now if I was a bird. That was, it's a stressful situation. And he did hit a great one before that. So, balancing all things. But an unfortunate miss there for him.
You miss every hook you don't throw.
No, I miss every hook that I do throw. So, it's not true for everyone. But there we go. Happens. It happens. Still, top lane CS is good. I mean, Rezo, honestly, despite that first death, Enigma things are still happening. He's coming into the lane, taking away, creep after creep with the Eidolons, and he's farming just as well as the Pudge.
Absolutely, and it's gonna continue to get better and better for Rezo with those constant denies that come out. They can even post kill threat onto Kidaro constantly as Rezo again.
Was so close.
He's got a nuke in one.
I mean, surely the nuke's going to get him. It does. This time, once again, Into the Breach. They'll take down Resolution on the top lane.
He's stepping a little too far up. Zayats is trying his best to snowball bail him out, but Rezo's getting a little too aggressively up there, and they're punishing him for it. Versus the CM, the constant spam from these two. Nicely done.
Absolutely, yeah.
Otaker.
Otaka?
We both say it differently.
Baboba?
Baboka.
Baboka. Depends what accent you got.
Exactly.
But yeah, this top lane on Pudge CM, outside of that missed hook, it's looking like a pretty good practice against the Enigma.
Yeah, it's a killer lane, right? It's exactly what it's posed for. It's just a constant setup for these kills. So yeah, it's good stuff. They might even get another one here. There's a snowball, but it's on the Pudge.
I'll see if Zayats can get away nicely.
Nice
with the shards, and
beautiful,
that will do
actually. Because it's even against the tree. So
he looked pretty dead there. Zayats said no to death, and he'll walk out alive.
That's why you first picked Tusk, He's very comfortable on it. 2-kill lead for Into the Breach, but you're already seeing the network reflect.
Yes, the farm is still kind of untouched here for Secret's cause, just getting the same out of the lanes. And indeed, Nisha in that scary top spot. Top net worth and on the way towards his Midas. He's on track to having a pretty good game here as the Invoker, as he has done so many, many times before.
Yeah. It's the denies are really the more insane part. Sure, he's got 35 lasted, but he has 16 denies over this Void Spirit. So Supreme's still level 5, and Nisha's 6.5 at the moment.
That's pretty insane.
Eyes on those side lanes, especially for those Sunstrikes. It's starting to do nearly, I think it's 7, it's 300 damage. So 300 pure damage. All these heroes are, that's half their HP for the most part on most of these. Top.
Oh, this time Attacker in trouble. They're in with the Malefice. If there's anything Kadara can do to save him, we'll try and slow them down, and he will manage to walk away. But, of course, kept very, very low now to that harassment.
Always watching Nisha to see if he goes for the invoke.
Off a bit of a Sunstrike.
Maybe could have gotten it, but doesn't quite go for it. He's playing more for the lane, keeping Ice Wall invoked.
Yeah, he's focused. You know, when you at this point where you're like a few hundred gold away from the Midas, you're just making sure you don't miss a single CS. So you get that Midas as soon as you can.
I think if Supreme didn't have Invis Rune, I think Nisha might just kill him there. Because he could just lay down the Ice Wall and commit because he's still level 5. He doesn't know Supreme's skill build, I guess, either, but Supreme did go for the second point in Aether Remnant rather than having to simulate to protect himself. So this is a very kill-thirsty kind of build that he's gone for here. Double-checking runes here. Puppey already playing around mid. Same thing for Zayats. They have independent side lanes. Crystal's under no pressure. Rezo now able to pull the lane back, so they can make this move for free.
I see. See if they can do something here. They've tried the setup onto Nisha, but quick micro there from Puppey will pull Nisha back to a safe distance.
And he's got Midas complete now, and there's Chrono Strike ready on Crystallis. So Jibe has to be very cautious bottom. A Chronosphere plus Sunstrike could be enough if they get him down low with a couple bashes.
Top lane, we're about to get the 6s online here as well from the two cores.
Shards again. Wow.
I mean, ooh, good hook. But may still be dead. There's a snowball heading the way of Kadaro. In they go. Sunstrike on the mark. Nisha will be able to pick up the kill. We'll see if Attacker can get some of these kills in return, but Malefice is back up. He'll be slowed down, won't be able to stay on top of Resolution or Zayats. So, of course, Nisha to be very happy there, picking up a kill and picking up his Midas.
Crazy Sunstrike, too. It looked like it was going to miss, and the CM just perfectly backed up into it. You know, he predicted it, I guess. Level 8 now complete, so now the lane in mid. It was already very difficult. Now it's impossible. The double Forge Spirits are at the ready for Nisha. You have to gank and set up for him if you want to actually lane verse him for the most part. And yeah, there's the threats from Black Hole and Chronosphere on the two side lanes with a Sunstrike follow-up.
And we might see down bottom something happening because Crystallis is jumping in aggressively. He'll drop the Chrono. See if he's got enough damage on his own. He's going to need a few bashes. Sunstrike in. Ari does get bashed finally there by Crystallis. Took him some time there to get a bash off. See if they can take him out in return. Jumps to the side. Supreme will look for the chase with the Astral Step and will grab him. Aether Remnant down. Crystallis will fall. So quick movements there from Into the Breach. They knew they could tell, you know, that Crystallis was poised and ready to jump with the Chrono, and they do make sure he pays for that. So yeah, look, support for a core Into the Breach, they'll be happy with that. We'll see Nisha immediately put on the pressure in the mid, but TPs are coming in. Kadaro trying to sort of scare Nisha off, and with the help of Ari, they should be able to do so. Still a hell of a lot of damage coming out from him and his Forge Spirit. Supreme, and with the jump, Aether Remnant not on target. Tries to get it around the Forge Spirit to get the grab, but won't be there. And now it's a Secret's turn to turn up in the numbers as we've got both Crystallis as well as Zayats coming over towards the mid lane to try and fight back against Into the Breach. Still, though, Into the Breach won't be caught. They'll be back under the towers, and a close opening continues. 2-3, only 1k difference right now. And the main thing being that Nisha is just completely untouched and having as free of an opening to this game as he could have hoped for as an Invoker.
And they have a Midas on the Invoker, and they have Void and Enigma. They have like kind of this like pretty greedy lineup if you look at it. It's in the essence that it scales essentially incredibly hard. Sure, it's relatively strong still in lanes, but this lineup having this type, even just a 1k, it is going to be noticeable. Yeah. Nisha just going for more Exor points, actually not putting any more in Wex just yet. So Forge Spirit stronger, Sunstrike as well.
I was saying is what one of the strengths of a hero like Invoker with these summons, every single power rune spawn, Forge Spirits are going out. We just saw like an Arcane rune denied. Taking these sort of power runes away from a hero like Void Spirit, it's massive.
Yeah, and they're constantly bringing the supports. That's what I'm seeing too. Like Puppey actually denied a DD rune earlier. Yep. So yeah, they know exactly how they want to play versus Void Spirit to not let him fill up that bottle to have his space on that. And now mid, this tower's in jeopardy.
And they've got to bring in some more TPs. They'll bring Attacker over.
Okay.
So if they can put a stop to this push. Let's see if he can get any sort of chance for a setup. It's not going to be easy. Secret should be able to easily back off from the pressure.
But they force the Pudge mid. Now Rezo, he's going to be able to apply pressure up top. See if they can make a setup onto Crystals. I see Supreme coming down. They have a point in silence on Jibe. They do. They could get this kill. And Exorcism's up in 5.
Yeah, for a silence and a remnant grab, they should have the damage.
They should, let's say.
Yeah,
Waiting to have more backup.
We'll see sort of how quick reactions coming from Secret. I mean, Chrysalis, he can already sense something's up.
Nope, nobody's on the map. This is starting to look kind of obvious. I'm surprised they brought down the 2 supports as well.
Yeah,
I think that made it kind of
obvious.
He's
safe. I don't think they'll find him hidden away this deep in the trees. Yeah, Chrysalis is able to walk away. At the least, though, into the breach, they will look to take the tower.
I think they over-rotated, though. Like, when you look at the map, no one's showing top. Pudge was jungling, and there's literally just a Death Prophet showing. So, Chrysalis, he knew something was going on.
And they'll end up losing the tier 1 tower top. They're into the breach. Due to sort of the heavy focus on that bottom lane. We saw Ari TP up to the top lane, but now he's going to probably stay quite hidden in that tree line as there's you know, no one else to back him up if he does reveal.
He has thankfully hit 6.
Again, Nisha. I mean, it's got to be frustrating, right? You're playing one of these spirits, you're not getting a single power rune.
That's the power of these double forge. Even in the lane, even before he has the double, like he's constantly checking one and sending a forge spirit toward the other. And almost boots of travel ready. So he's going to be able to have his presence on the map anywhere to those Eidolons or turn Enchantress creep. Pretty much in every situation.
Yeah, not an easy lane at all for Supreme to turn up to. And it hasn't been for the past few minutes. See, Blink Dagger now done on Resolution, so he'll be ready to get involved.
And it's constantly scary to show individual heroes in any of the side lanes for the reason that we keep saying. You know, Chrono threat in one lane plus a Sunstrike, Black Hole threat in the other one plus a Sunstrike. So can definitely see why Into the Breach is playing a little patient right now, just getting some farm set up, doing some stacks at the moment. Does feel like they're pretty reliant on Exorcism for early damage.
Oh, for sure. And as you say, you know, considering the draft that they have, you know, if you're into the breach, you'd certainly be expecting to be getting a bit more done, a bit more out of the map at this stage of the game. Yeah. When you consider what you're going to be up against as the minutes pass, when you look at Secret's lineup.
That's like we said earlier, right? The mid game has to be pretty explosive because the scaling, the Secret just gets unbelievably potent versus what you're up against, and they're all free farming, all 3 cores just kind of doing whatever they want at the moment.
See a smoke around mid. They want to see if they can maybe get the catch on Supreme, and there it is. Straight away, in with the Chrono. TP's coming in. They're not going to be able to help out Supreme in time as he falls. Quick kill for Secret off the back of the Chrono.
And Aghanims is queued up. Almost max Exort already. Let's see if they can do anything to punish while Chronosphere is on cooldown right now. We need to start seeing these supports pair up and look to make some moves. Ari as well to CM. Kadaro's still just keeping stacks going, so they will be able to have those to farm up on, but they need to start pressuring somehow.
Bottom. You see this here from Puppey baiting some action. They'll try and set up onto Jibe, but the silence is theirs. They'll turn over towards Rezo, and that is the Chrono put to an end. So now it's Secret that are having to run. Nisha will try and hold them back with a tornado, but Rezo already falls to the damage of the swashbuckler. They'll still look to lead in. Puppey at the side getting dealt with by Kadaro as Kadaro drops down the freezing field, takes down Puppey into the breach. They're ready to jump for more. They're over on top of Nisha. They're taking out a third. They're going to be able to get science out of this as well. A Secret biting off a bit more than they could chew there. You could tell it was all Secret's intention to start a fight there. Puppey baiting the action, feeling like they'd have the strength for around the black hole, but it just got completely ruined by a silence. Secret lose 4, and straight away into the breach, they're ready to sweep over and put some pressure onto the tier 1 tower. A huge fight there for Into the Breach to find right up against Secret's tier 2 tower nearly.
And yeah, Exorcism came up like right toward the end of it. Like literally the perfect situation for Jibe. Gets the heals off, and yeah, the silence. It's midair as Black Hole casts. Literally same frame or something. It looked like they were casted.
We'll see it again. I was going to say, I didn't even see the Black Hole begin.
I heard the noise like
that quickly.
And it just stopped instantly.
And yeah, sort of just after that, it just seemed like there was no backup plan for Secret in that moment. It was very much built around them dropping the Black Hole onto the Death Prophet, getting that kill. That didn't happen. They didn't have a plan B for them.
No, and it was exactly like they needed to make the move while Chronosphere was down. Everything kind of lined up for them perfectly. And now Pudge, he goes and backs up, and we were talking about those stacks that Kadaro was getting set up. Now they make an aggressive move, and he gets to farm all those. And Aghanims is nearly going to be done now, so a big hit.
Oh, I mean, excited to see. You know, how will the old Pudge match up against the Void? You know, because Pudge, it really is that hero that sometimes it just beats these carries that you don't expect it to beat.
Yeah, sometimes just too tanky. Even an Invoker with this much farm, the burst might not be enough with him this enabled from all the... I mean, he is absolutely enormous, now level 12.
Yeah, that whole fight put everything back on even grounds. And if anything, a little bit of a lead now for Into the Breach. exactly the place they needed to be at this point of the game. You know, their team built to find these fights and just break down this ability from Secret to try and get these easy so-and-so called kills around these ultimates. If they shut down one of these big ultimates in this stage of the game, which is pretty easy to do pre-BKBs, then they're going to have a good fight back.
Absolutely. Still got to look to play a bit fast. They have to watch out for Chronosphere, but still want to start to look active. 15 seconds for Exorcism as well.
I mean, as you said, they'll be bringing in the Pudge now. No, Attacker with the Ags. He's ready to get involved. Let's see what they can get. I mean, Secret in the neighborhood. Try with a hook, but not quite able to get the angle on Puppey.
They might think there's a ward now on Secret because of that. As mid.
Try with the setup. Got the punch up, Supreme. Still has to dissimulate and a step away. Not quite enough lockdown outside of the ultimates from Secret to trap this Void Spirit.
That's why they went for that last pick. A bit elusive versus this lineup without those big ults until some other form of disable comes out. Now they can turn into a tower push. Exorcism is ready. They don't need it for this low of a tower. Could save it for the next fight.
Because we do have the Chronosphere online for quite some time, but Chrysalis obviously focusing on just getting his farm for now rather than looking to get involved with the ultimate at this point of the game. Probably just sort of down the line of thinking that you kind of imagine when you see Secret's lineup that as long as they don't lose too much in this portion, they get the BKB on the Faceless Void, things should be set up for their core heroes to scale and carry.
Yeah, I'm sure like even after the bottom situation happened, Puppey or somebody on the team probably says, guys, why are we forcing this? Why are we forcing something to go on? Like we have this crazy scaling lineup. We can chill. Bottom, Ari. Rezzo's gonna throw the hole.
Yeah, notice that this time there's nothing to stop it. You know, after you've had a whiff black hole, sometimes you just want to drop it just to show you still can. And he does. Gets the kill.
And now into the breach. You know, you see black hole used. You got to try to take advantage of it somehow. So Supreme looking for some power runes. Should be able to get a haste rune and maybe set up for top. Lacking some vision on the top side, though. Yeah.
And if anything as well, that move from Rezzo really sort of telegraphs the whole, you know, Secret don't want to fight as a team right now.
Yeah.
They're just dropping spells, dropping big ults like that because they're saying to you, we're not going to turn up, we're not going to fight you. Of course, for Into the Breach, they've got to read that and say, well, we're really going to force it. We're going to find these little avenues and sort of little gaps that you've left, and we're going to punish it. And you'll see here now, group up, ready to go. They want to find kills. They want to find blood here Into the Breach.
Bottom. Jibbe.
So if they get any TPs in to back him up, underneath the tab, punch up into the Sunstrike, not enough to kill him straight off. He is going to be fine.
Their next move is probably Roche, I think, for Into the Breach. It's only level 1 EXO, though. I thought they would wait for the level 2.
Chrono in the mid. Nisha does step into it, though. It doesn't matter. Bashes are there to make sure that the job's still done, but we'll see Into the Breach look to punish. Rolling Thunder into the hook. They'll be able to kill Crystalis. I think they'll be okay with that one Into the Breach. That's Chrono used, and they get a fair trade.
And they get the level 12 now in Jibbe because of the kill. So he actually has level 2 EXO. So this Roche is going to die quite a lot faster.
I mean, it's going to die very quick. And no Chrono, no Black Hole. There's no way Secret's going to be turning up for this Roshan. Best they can do is look for a tier 1 tower trade down bottom. But again, a trade that Into the Breach, 19 minutes in with their lineup, they'll be very, very happy with.
Yeah, that was pretty ideal. I was looking, I was like, they can do Roche, but it's only level 1 EXO. Bam, he gets the level 2, so they get it secured for free. Nisha does have Aghanims now finished, so in the next situations, instead of a single Sunstrike, the Cataclysm will probably come in with Zayats to get these pickoffs. But a big move into the Breach. Even though they keep losing Supreme, they're getting some pretty solid farm and getting this at least some map control.
Absolutely. Quite the setup here so far in this game. 20 minutes in, 1k gold difference between the two teams. Yeah, matchup, maybe like some of the previous ones that people had expectations in terms of a team, you know, being able to just stomp the other. That's not going to happen here. Whatever happens, this is going to be a close one on our hands.
Yeah, Ari already has Blink Dagger on Pango now too, so now they actually have ways to start fights a little bit easier. Their fight starting was kind of awkward before, so maybe now they could actually pick off on the side lanes here, but Secret, they are going to start getting some ultis back up soon. 40 seconds for Black Hole. So let's see, Into the Breach. They're also right now just chilling. Death Prophet ult on cooldown.
Yeah, they're close to the Blink Dagger on Attacker.
Yep, Supreme halfway to Ags. A little bit of a slowdown period for their EXO to come back, but that also, you know, same thing. Goes both ways. Now EXO, or Black Hole as well as the Chronosphere are going to be back up very soon. And Secret, they're playing all 3 lanes, so that kind of says the way that they want to play this game. Very farm heavy. And do want to point out also, the Dagger of Ristul was what allowed Crystallis to have enough damage inside that Chronosphere.
Oh, he did pop the active.
He did pop it.
Because we're seeing some players forget to, or at least not opt to sometimes, but indeed. I mean, that would have been one of those situations. If he didn't get the kill because he didn't pop it, it wouldn't have looked great.
I was watching. Don't worry.
Yeah. You were ready. You're ready to call him out. Yeah.
So many people just aren't using it, I've watched. So I always try to keep track of some of these newer items.
There we go. Smoke up here from Into the Breach. Ready to play aggressive with the 3 minutes of Aegis left on Otaka.
EXO at the ready in 5 as well, too. If they get a catch, they could potentially turn it into a tower.
But this is into Black Hole and Chronosphere.
It is. It's always going to be a little bit of a tough game playing into these two. And it's a BKB Black Hole, too, now.
Yeah.
Rezo, Zayats, they get broken.
Supreme's under the cover. Nova's Sentry Ward. So knows that he's fine, and indeed they won't get the jump. In fact, it's going to be Otaka that gets the jump. He's in straight away onto Resolution. Resolution pops the BKB in an attempt to get away. Supreme jumps in with the Astral Step. Rezo's having to use this BKB to run. He's going to turn, drop the back up, but again, he instantly has to stop it. There's the Chronosphere, though. Catching the 3 Cataclysm comes crashing down. Otaka taken out as well as Ari. Kadari tries to hold his ground with a freezing field, turns towards Puppey, will die, but Puppey loses his life in return. Chrysalis able to get the Time Walk off in time to escape underneath the Tier 2, but into the breach. They want to try and dive this. Doesn't look like it. They won't dive further. And there we have it. So a 2 for 2, plus Secret taking out the Aegis, of course, the hands of Attacker. But it does cost
it's expensive.
Secret. They had to use both of their big ults. And
all 3,
and again,
technically.
But we didn't really see the Black
is kind of like another ult as well. But.
That's true, with the cooldown that it has, certainly. So, all things said and done, into the breach, they're not going to feel too shaken up walking out of that one.
I agree. They didn't even pop Exorcism, so they'll have it for this next upcoming fight if they'd like to smoke and battle, which I think is a pretty good option versus no Black Hole, no BKB, no Chrono, no kind of anything on the side of Secret. Rezo, 2 times now, kind of like hesitating. Like he was playing around with the idea. I saw them kind of walking up. I saw him drop the Midnight Pulse, but then he just Black Holes and instant cancels it. So
yeah, because that was sort of his own decision on that one, right, to cancel it. There was nothing that caught him. It was very much, I want a Black Hole, hang on, I don't, you know. Sometimes it's hard to make your mind up.
Yep, some indecisiveness for sure. Hurting Secret quite a lot.
Jibe. It's going to reveal. Oh, and Resolution will put a stop to that. And with TP's coming in, Jibe looking very dead. I mean, that was a little bit of a cheeky move there. Maybe it will pay off. Maybe the big brain play here, baiting Secret far out on the lane so the rest of the team can come in and clean up kills. But we'll see if they can do exactly that into the breach. See what they can find. They'll catch Zayats in the trees, so they'll get 1 hero out of this. But looks like they won't get anything more. The rest of Secret have been able to split and escape.
Yeah, Nisha already playing ahead of the lane, avoiding that kind of kill. And also, something interesting to point out, like, it's not always an item that you go for in Enigma, of course, but in this game, I actually thought that he was going to finish up the Vessel. I guess he just really prioritized Blink and BKB. But you could definitely see, like, arguments versus, like, Death Prophet, Pudge, even Pango. Very good Vessel game. I think maybe he doesn't want to waste that kind of gold on it, but...
Sure. Yeah,
I guess it's like the Blink BKB refresher and everything this game. I can, of course, see why. It's like, we win this game late game, so that's probably what he's just thinking.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. And also that, oh my goodness, I can't get these Black Holes off early. I need a BKB.
Yeah, for sure.
Rezo, he wants to be hitting the flashy ultimates. He doesn't want to be the guy who drops the Black Hole after a millisecond of casting it. He wants to come in with a big 5-man.
He's better step it up than a little bit.
He's got time. He said this is the reason why they play for the late game. Gives them more minutes to perform.
Smoked up. They've got Kata and Chrono. Black Hole still cooldown, but this is the big one.
And they did see this.
Ooh, Rezo. His smoke got broken, though, so he knows somebody's in the area.
Oh, yeah, Ari's been very, very sneaky. A very nice spot there to sort of dispel it.
Yeah, and then he puts even a ward down afterwards. Nicely done. Void Spirit now has eggs, so he can actually trip up a lot of the combos. Nisha does have BKB, though, so going to be harder to go for him, at least.
Can they kill this punch?
Taker. He is quite alone.
He's getting back up on the way, but it's going to take some time. He'll try and stand his ground with a Dismember, but yeah, nothing he can do to trade against pretty much the entirety of Secret's lineup, apart from Puppey, and just watch from a distance.
Alacrity Void. No way you're going to survive there. Is this Pudge without any backup?
Time to push now for Secret. Still got
big
their
window.
ultimates.
40 seconds with all ults. BKB on the Invoker, so he's safe versus this Void Spirit as well. BKB on Crystallis, so he's safe too. Tough fight for Into the Breach upcoming here.
Tier 2 tower that they won't be interested in defending.
Zayat's even scouting. Puts
Almost
a deep
like
ward behind tower.
Secret actually going to pull back from this. Looks like they will. They don't want to put too much attention onto that tier 2 right now. They'd rather split the map. Get some pressure back up on the top lane.
Looks like they're anticipating someone making a move up here to clear the wave. And they're probably right on that front. Supreme is already making his way up.
I'll see what Supreme can do if he wants to set something here because, you know,
He
Taker's
saw-
TPing over.
He saw the alacrity put on the Forge Spirit, so he knows Invoker's up here.
I mean, they're going to know as well the Secret's fairly split across the map right now. So not a bad time to strike. Arcane Rune at the ready. A Secret seemingly aware, at least Rezo is. He's out of the lane, and Nisha, he'll stay hidden in the trees.
He's still chilling a bit here. There's a sentry down from Ahri on the retreat position.
That's pretty, yeah, that's smart.
That's pretty big brain. He knows. Look at the circle.
I was going to say, again, Nisha, he's playing outside of the lane.
He really wants the Midas, though.
He does. Does the Midas temptation get the better of him?
Let's see. I mean, Ahri's still here, but he's got no backup anymore.
Yeah, maybe on his own, Ahri really can't mess with him too much.
And now Rezo kind of makes his way back over, maybe thinking something's up. And the rest of the team is pretty close by. That was pretty close. I mean, I love these little things that you can see happening between the game. Definitely some nice understanding from both teams.
No, it's a smart placement from Ahri, from sentries to opposites.
Yeah,
that one deep in sort of radiance half the map we saw earlier as well. That's not going to get taken away anytime soon. Because, of course, they did deward the one that spotted them smoking. They're not going to necessarily expect him to have immediately placed that other one a little further south after that move.
Into the breach, almost having a double BKB timing. Death Prophet and Pudge very close to theirs. Probably wanting to wait for the fight, but they're actually going to go on top.
We're going to see here straight away. I mean, Supreme jumps in, no hesitation from Chrysalis to slam down Chronosphere to get that kill.
He has chronoed him exclusively this entire game, I think, right? It's actually straight bullying.
That's how you deal with the Void Spirit, you know.
Limited on disables?
Exactly.
Just ult them.
We're going to look at the potential for Roshan Secret. No chrono, of course, for themselves.
They kill it pretty fast.
I mean, Oteka's got his BKB done. If they can get here in time, they could fight this.
Nisha has 0 mana.
I mean, Kadari's just walking in kind of on his own. Now the backup's coming over. Roshan, Kadari, he's going to get in the pit. They want to try and disrupt this. Roshan getting very low resolution. He's going to drop the black hole. Make sure that he can hold back Oteka and indeed make sure Chrysalis can still pick up the Aegis. And now Secret, they want to keep the fight going though. Jibba's got the BKB, turns over towards Chrysalis. Chrysalis is able to get the time walk off in time though. Protecting that Aegis out to the side. Resolution will tick down low to the vessel. He's trying to heal out in return, but Ahri's in to finish up the job. Jumps forward with a 3-man shield crash. Excellent swashbuckle over the two of them as well. They might just be able to still take this fight against Secret. Chrysalis is back up, but an immediate silence from Jibbe catches him into the frostbite. He can't time walk anywhere. They may have got the Roshan, they may have got the Aegis, but without a shadow of a doubt, into the breach, they take the team fight, and on top of it all, they'll find the captain, Puppey, hiding in the trees, hunted down by Ahri and the Rolling Thunder. It's 4 dead on Secret.
Great execution of fight of just running in. I'm not sure if someone maybe, I didn't see if anyone pinged it out, but Nisha had 0 mana, Owen. 100 mana to start the fight. He threw an Alacrity, and that's it. He literally had nothing else. He kind of just had to watch the fight from the outside.
Yeah, and not the flashiest of team fights from Nisha's Invoker. Got to make sure, indeed, you got that mana up, and in that situation, maybe a bit of a lapse of judgment outside of a pretty perfect game from him.
He literally just used everything. Right? He has. I'm sub 100 mana, 120 mana when the whole like CM jumps in and the Pudge jumps him and bites him. You see his mana regenerating afterward, but Secret was kind of on full retreat, trying to get away from them because of that. So a great fight again into the breach, making this game competitive. Even though still that advantage, and you know, as we say, you know, the scaling on Secret is still crazy. Into the breach, finding their windows.
No, they really are. And then that's the thing. If we see them continue to do this as the minutes go on, it's going to become more and more impressive.
Yeah.
Because one bad fight and suddenly, you know, if three plus heroes are getting caught in these chronos or these black holes, it's very easy to become game over. The fact is where they've got these sort of 2 late game ultimates that they can use in tandem, one in one team fight, one in the next, gives them some more of a window to make sure that even with buybacks, it's going to be very hard for Into the Breach to deal with the threat of these spells later.
Definitely. I see Supreme's already starting to, he's itemizing. He's like, screw this. I'm literally getting chronoed every fight. He's getting Aeon Disc. So maybe this could trip it up a little bit. This is pretty cool. Bottom.
No, Jibbe will get caught once again here. No struggle, no lack of damage from Nisha.
And he is, as we mentioned, lack of disables. He is going to go for that Hex. So they will have something to catch this Void Spirit once he does pick
See the
that
chase
one
here
up.
from Ari, and he's going to be able to set that up for a taker. In with a hook, in with the kill.
Mid lane, Rezo. Just harass it.
I mean, I'd be interested to see how many members of Into the Breach do buy these Eon discs.
I think they probably want to get at least 2 and maybe even 3. I think CM, Pango, and Void Spirit at the least want to get it. I could argue even for Death Prophet, not the punch. Mid lane.
In the mid, quick combo, takes away a hefty amount of damage, HP and a hefty amount of mana there.
Definitely not going to be at the ready to fight now in Supreme.
He's still kind of hanging around. I mean,
showed.
Nisha does want to start something, but it's very hard to do so. And those that Into the Breach are hovering around the trees, ready to fight back. They have Chronosphere online, but Black Hole, how long till that? 25 seconds. So shortly, Secret will be fully prepared to bring another team fight if they so choose to do so.
And they did get another bit of a timing. Nisha has hit level 20, and he buys the shard almost immediately as he does too. So
it's huge damage.
Huge damage, multiple meteors as well. So in Chronosphere, you can actually hit multiple targets easier with it as well, and reduce cooldown, etc. It's really nice to get this timing and buy shard at 20.
Absolutely. There's no longer sort of the need to combo the cooldown of the Chrono with the cooldown of the Cataclysm.
Exactly.
You know, you've got the damage covered. As long as the BKBs don't come off in time from Into the Breach. Which I guess at the moment, it's just sort of the Pudge and the DP that the big ones to worry about with regards to that.
And now Hex is done. So Void Spirit, his life's a lot harder, and he has to be quick with his unlocks if he does get caught on.
Chrono! Only going to catch Kadaro, and not for long. Taker's in with the hook, and now we see a Taker. He's ready to jump back in. He just goes up. He's able to find the Enigma straight on top of Resolution. Reza will use the Black Hole. Cataclysm coming in, but Taker's able to step out to the side. Secret, they didn't get the immediate kills out of this. They'll still bring down the Pudge, but maybe at a price. Ari in with the 2-man, Rolling Thunder, able to get the controller as well around this cliff edge onto Chrysalis for the moment being. Chrysalis will manage to time, will come to the side. Still, though, Ari and Supreme, they're looking to chase down on this. Ari will pop the shard to try and survive, but Puppy's kind of cleaning up. The damage from the impetus is adding up. He's taken out too. Chrysalis still low, but able to jump away once again. See Supreme opt to back off out of this one. Puppy. 3 heroes dead, not a fight that Into the Breach could afford to continue to take, as this time they'll be the ones getting cleaned up. 4 dead.
My God, yeah, Puppy just did like most of the damage to that death prop. I'm waiting for this tab. Yeah, 3,800 from Impetus. Holy moly. What a fight. The Cataclysm actually ends up missing. I think the Black Hole maybe pulled him in like a rotation where it didn't clip, but either way, fight beautiful from Secret. Crystal is surviving throughout all of it, jumping back and forth, kind of kiting into the breach beautifully.
And now Secret, maybe see if they can get a bit of a push out of this. We'll get a quick catch up on the replay once again. An awkward start for Secret, but definitely ended up working in their favor. Back in action, Nishi grabs another, hang on.
It's a solo. Look at the damage. The Meteor combo, man.
All right, Nisha, he's ready to turn up. He's ready to turn up and make these sort of moves. Quick Hex and a quick kill there. Supreme not ready for that one, despite, of course, what the Hex was indeed revealed in that last fight. He knew it was there.
Yeah, just didn't expect the solo play coming out from Nisha. As now Secret, even though they start the fight awkward, have fully found their footing. Their late game scaling draft, we're seeing, we kind of like saw these big ults, the way that they set them up constantly. It's a lot for Into the Breach to really play around these timings. As they're trying to play around it now, but it's only 20 seconds until Chrono's back up. They got to find it quick.
See if they can find Chrysalis. Won't be able to clears the camp in time. Jumps away. Full Scardy done. Now on the Void.
Even tankier. Also just easier ways to commit into, Pudge and Death Prophet for sure. Very tanky now, though. 2,500 HP. I don't know if they'll have the damage to kill him before he gets the jump-offs constantly now.
It's going to be very hard to do so. We did see as well that last fight, even with suboptimal ultimates, it's still a very, very difficult team fight for Into the Breach to take 5v5.
It was like technically you could say, right? It was like a 0-man Chrono almost and a 1-man Black Hole, right?
It didn't really matter.
It didn't really matter.
That's going to definitely be a concern for Into the Breach, and just goes to show how difficult of a game this will end up being for them to play out as the minutes pass.
And how do they address, this Nisha issue that has kind of been prefaced for the entirety of this game? Is I'm watching Taker in a couple of fights. He tries to blink bite him, but he has to solve the problem of the Invoker, the Enigma, and the Void. It's like, which core can he ignore? If he ignores the one of them, he just gets controlled by the other two. So it's really tough for this Pudge.
Here we go, ready to look for the fight. Secret. Crystal's leading the way with the threat of the Chronosphere. We'll see who they can catch. Zayat's just going to look towards Jibe at the side, but the BKB is off in time. Crystal will jump forward, looking for the bashes, not quite yet ready to drop a Chrono for him. Over to the side, into the breach. They'll actually be able to get the jump over on towards Red, but still the BKB comes out with the black hole, locks down the two, and then they kill Kadaro. Allow turn to look towards Supreme. They'll attempt to jump away with the Dissimulate. Will live here for now. And Oteka and Jibe haven't ended up being the easy kills that Secret may have hoped for, as they'll look to jump back in. Cataclysm comes crashing down onto Jibe, will kill him off. Once again, Puppey finding the opportunity to lay down the damage with the impetuses, as it's still into the breach, having to run. Zayat, he'll look to chase this down, but Supreme catches him in the remnant. Quick dodge to the hook with the snowball goes in, will still die to the rock, but sets up for Secret to clean up the carry pudge. Supreme, the only one to be able to make it out of there. You saw that Puppey, he was hungry. He was ready to try and find him on the high ground. Won't quite get him. But again, another team fight where things falling into place for Secret and just falling further apart here for Into the Breach.
Yeah, they just, even though they lose Chrysalis, Nisha still, like I said, there's too many cores to deal with. They have so much they can throw out at this point that, you know, one just carries the other one if one does die early on. As Nisha even saving Cataclysm for the end there with this Hex combo. And now has a full refresher, so we have 2 combos that we can look forward to.
Yeah, nearly level 25. We'll see the start of this fight once again.
I missed what happened to Ari, to be honest with you, in this one, because I didn't think he got like anything off on the Pango, right?
I think he just
got hexed and killed,
just
right?
completely destroyed by Nisha. They take that Pango out of the fight.
He's really important, honestly, and it's a couple fights where he's unable to really get anything off because he's just getting controlled.
As we saw, yeah, towards the end of the fight, a lot of survival on these heroes of the Pudge, the DP, Jibe, and Oteka, but not quite enough. You know, despite how long it took Secret to take them down, they still did end up taking them down.
Geez, Supreme has to be so careful. His Aeon Disc was still on cooldown. Nisha was hunting with his refresher.
Dude, I love this as well. Check this out. 37 minutes in, this man, he knows what he needs. He's still holding a Fairy's Trinket. He just wants that extra bit of damage.
Hell yeah. I mean, he didn't get the Vambrace, right? Or
Absolutely, yeah. It's yeah, one of those situations. You know, you probably won't see this on many other heroes. 37 minutes in, a tier 1 item being the item of choice. But at the moment, indeed, maybe some of these tier 4s that are going to come out are going to be the big ones.
Let's see if he gets Timeless Relic. That's what I'm looking for. Spell Prism or Timeless Relic. That's what he wants.
I mean, he's surely going to get one of them. The odds have got to be pretty good for finding one of those 2 items.
He's 25 as well, too. So now we have Radial Deafening Blast as well inside of these fights. They'll be even more difficult.
What they can find here, they get the jump. It's an immediate reaction there for Nisha. We saw Taker trying to get the setup, but Nisha just turns with the Hex, still gets grabbed by the Dismember from Oteka, tries for the hook, but Nisha's away with the BKB. Secret, they will lose Zayat. Jump back in from Crystallis, Chrono down, he's caught the Pudge. Oteka will fall. Rolling in, Ari also to get flipped by the edge of the Chronosphere. Black Hole from Rezo will catch and lock down Jibe, but a Remnant will put it to a stop. Kadaro still alive is having to focus down the CM here. Jibe with the BKB, siphoning back up to pretty much a decent amount of HP. The fear from the Siphon as well, causing some issues for Chrysalis, but not enough. He's able to time walk out. Jibe's been surrounded. Secret, they'll take the fight once again.
My God, they're trying so hard to get, like Nisha, they're actually trying so hard to commit onto him, but he actually gets the refresh BKB off instantly, and the whole fight gets really awkward of them chasing Secret, able to finally hold their ground again, even though they get dove, and it's the Invoker who gets initiated on. He still survives.
I mean, that was just such a quick reaction there from Nisha with the Hex, right? As Oteka was trying to sneak up on him, as soon as he's shown, immediate reaction from Nisha.
It was the refresh BKB that was also incredibly fast, too, right afterwards. As into the breach, they get pulled into a bit of a weird situation trying to go for this level 25 Invoker, also, as we saw there. 4 levels ahead of anybody else.
Straight away, Nisha. BKB and a Hex. He knew that Oteka was going to go immediately for him.
And this from Ari was good, though. We see here, you're going to see how Nisha actually whipped his combo completely inside the Chronosphere, because Ari continues to roll on him. You'll see it right here. So the combo totally misses, but ends up not mattering.
And that definitely saw the overall story at this point of the game. You miss a spell on Secret's lineup, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you've just got the tools around to sort of cover for any whiffed abilities. You have that lead now. We'll see what sort of a defense they can pull in from the high ground, but Supreme comboed once again by Nisha, just footsteps from his base.
Look at the damage from it. I mean, again, it's just the Meteor Deafening Blast combo. The Meteor does so much damage once you get this talent.
Absolutely, that kills the Void Spirit every time.
And the Fairy Trinket, you know, that's definitely making the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're considering this sort of large numbers of damage output, 5%, that's a big percent. We'll see here, off the start of a defense, see what they can pull together. Ari trying to set things up, but not quite having the range there with a hooker taker.
Nope, no roll now for the fight. 60 seconds.
And Black Hole is up. Crystal is teasing with them underneath the tier 4s, jumping in and out with the time warp. Chrono also at the ready. And the Aegis on the Void, Cheese on the Enigma. Secret.
Full Ags also on Rezo, so the pull in, it'll be there.
See how much Secret are allowed to get out of this. They'll definitely clean up the mid racks. They can certainly stick around for more.
So hard to fight into them with the big bubbles, the big protection. Refresher at the ready for Nisha. He's just holding on to it, waiting for a Chrono.
We'll see again that earlier quick kill. They tried for a hook save there, a taker, but not able to grab him. Whilst he was flailing in the air from the setup from Nisha. Into the breach, they have everybody up. But who's going to make the call? Who's going to make the move to try and start some sort of a play? Crystallis, he'll just drop the Chrono to catch out Supreme, but the Aeon Disc and a hook will take Supreme out to the side. They're able to get back in with the Remnant, bring it down to Rezo. He's in, 3-man Black Hole here. The Meteors come crashing down. 2 dead, 3 dead here on Into the Breach. The buybacks will come out. But the damage being done there as the range racks comes to an end. They'll TP in aggressively into the breach. Can they take this fight? They're in with the Siphon. Jibe forcing back the 2 of them. A taker. They'll try and get on top of Nisha, but Nisha pops the refresher. A second tornado pushes back the Pudge. Eon Disc giving some safety for Nisha. Allows to get the BKB. Giants bullet to jump back in with the snowball save. The Meteors are out. That Soul Taker out for 100 seconds. No buyback for him. Secret, they'll clean up the diebacks here. Then Into the Breach through into this attempt to hold off, as that is GG. Secret will take game 1 here, 42 minutes in.
And we prefaced it hoping for a Nisha show, and I think we got the Nisha show. He absolutely popped off this game as expected on his Invoker. Amazing game. Rezo making up for a couple of those whiffs there in the early game, gets a 3-man Black Hole tier toward the end. Secret, there was like some windows it looked like for Into the Breach perhaps about 15, 20 minutes ago, but after like 1 or 2 fights, you could quickly, and even from the draft, of course, as we said, the game is very difficult for Into the Breach if they don't dominate early game.
No, for sure. And we really got the sense of that kind of from the last 2 picks. This very much feels like a team that they shouldn't be getting away with an Invoker Faceless Void close up on their draft fault.
No, definitely not. And especially with like the Enigma too, it's this late game insanity, and they come out of lanes ahead. So yeah, for Into the Breach, they did pretty decent, at least, like to find some of these fights, but they had to be ahead with this draft and just looking to make constant plays and constantly making any type of exception around any of these whiffs that were happening from Secret. But even with the whiffs, they couldn't take advantage of it.
No, absolutely. Secret shutting down things pretty solidly in those last moments of this game 1. But definitely some fight to be had from Into the Breach in the early game. Looking forward to seeing what we're going to get in game 2. See what changes up in the draft. See if indeed Secret get these kind of banger of a hero finisher in their last couple of picks. As very excited to see what does happen then. And I'm sure you are too. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a short break, but then we'll be right back with game 2, a Team Secret versus Into the Breach. The Rays are going.
What's it going to be? It's probably the offlane Razor guaranteed now, because then they're probably looking and they're like, okay, this is a offlane Marcy, so we can't pair the Razor versus it, because they'll think the same thing about
they'll be able to split.
Away. They got no time.
No. Pressure's
on.
on.
Had an idea.
Choose your
Go with the Slark.
It's old. It was like one of the older carries that could kind of fight, because you're not ever really man-fighting Troll, right? You're constantly like resetting and stuff like that, but this is not a good hero versus techies in a lot of situations, though.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy. You could see on the timer they were running out of options. This is what they've opted to go with. And it's just the thing, right? You'll pop Shadow Dance, you'll live a little longer. But when you come out of that Shadow Dance, you still got to face this Troll that's got a million buffs, every single buff coming out on top of him underneath the sun. It's not an easy slot game.
There's also, they have no team fight at all on Into the Breach. Like, actually, 0 team fight. So Secret already has the one up on that, especially when they hit 15 minutes. The Techie Shard's going to give them this huge team fight with the Invoker. This one looks a bit tough, actually. I'm not crazy about this Slark pick. I feel like the 3 cores kind of do the same thing. So it's really up to the supports to be all the playmakers. Because, yeah, I think all three of these cores are kind of right-clickers in a way. Like, Razor, he's going to be this shut down the troll kind of style, but I don't really see like a... I'm trying to think of it when it's like, all right, guys, let's group up. You know, let's get these tower push. We have X online. I don't see that. Well, for Secret, I can see a lot of timings for their lineup to kind of hit these benchmarks to be able to push and fight into.
Yeah, I mean, sort of the driving force that they could rally around would be, you know, if we get a good start from the Lina. But as you said yourself, you're already concerned about the matchup. This is a lane where Lina's probably going to struggle and not be able to have an explosive beginning.
Yeah, I think the Lina should still farm. I think Invoker's just one of the heroes that just fares well because you lane fine as well. You're able to just out-sustain. So...
Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to kick it off for Game 2 now between Team Secret and Into the Breach. We'll see if Into the Breach is going to sort of be able to hold their own in the early game as they were able to do last game, or if this one's going to be even more brutal. And yeah, definitely the potential for things to go downhill fast if some of these lanes don't go off to a hot start. If Slark starts to struggle early on, it's going to be very hard for a Taker to get himself back in on this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot. I mean, I'm going to try to watch a lot of mid, too, because I always like the Lina versus Invoker matchups because some of these Invokers can pull ahead, but, you know, Nisha has been so amazing, of course, on his Invokers and his laning for such a long time. He's going to do this Quas Wex, burn the Lina's mana, constantly reset versus him. And, yeah, let's see how bottom does. I'm curious to see how the Marcy core versus the Slark does, and with the backup of a Techies, I think that's kind of the bigger thing, how much he's going to be able to just mess with the Slark and keep him low HP. They have to have a ton of regen bottom.
I'll see you here with the setup. Trying to find some action if Secret do come heading over into the Breach's half of the map, but Secret won't be making that move.
30 seconds to battle.
A lot of pressure on the supports of Into the Breach to set stuff up early.
Yeah, they're going to have to kind of make all the moves for the most part of this game unless the Lina has a really explosive start. Or the Razor, I guess, if he's able to just run people down with links and stuff like that, but let's see.
The battle begins.
I'm not able to step up here for this rune.
Christos will get drained away, though. Gonna get walked for a little bit from Jibe, but 3 runes for Secret. Actually gonna take quite a hefty amount of damage, but he's got an Omni.
No. Yeah, we'll see how much sort of the Razor's presence in this lane will be able to mess with Chrysalis. Of course, you know, as a troll, you're a hero that has the ability to CS regardless if your damage gets drained, and obviously the opportunity to CS from a distance. So definitely not one of those, because you're a half melee hero, at least, you know, a melee hero that's going to get really feel the heat laning up against a Razor.
No, it's not the worst of the worst. You've got access to slow him down and distance yourself. You have, yeah, like you said, ways to hit without damage, etc. So. Mid lane. We're going to just see the constant EMP spam to keep this Lina low mana, and then the Quas regen. Well, bottom, it is a level 1 sidekick to start on Rezo. It has quite a long cooldown on the first level, 36.
Once we'll be able to CS and sustain here on the first few creeps, have that edge.
Yeah. It gives you the bonus damage also on denies, too, so you can always give a good laning prowess.
I mean, this is, you know, I look at this bottom lane. This is a lane where, you know, mentally, a Taker, he's got to be super focused and online here. Because if you start to die in this lane against the Techies and the Marcy, it's a lane that you can easily tilt in.
Absolutely.
These are heroes that are designed to tilt you.
Yeah. This is the lane to watch for action. Mid lane is the one to watch for like just straight up lane understanding, but bottom is the one to watch for constant aggression that's going to be coming up between Techies and CM. Top, I think, is the most boring lane, personally. The Razor versus the Troll, because it's just going to be like lane pulling and stuff like that, so.
I mean, see how much Taker can get from this lane. I mean, without a doubt, with how long sort of the minutes were, you know, the seconds were going down, you know, down to sort of the final second on that last pick, and we saw, you know, very much discussion had up until that final point. You can only imagine this was a case of, you know, what can you play? What's going to do it? And he says, give me the slot.
Yeah. Maybe looking at just like the elusiveness and everything. And like we were mentioning, finding a hero that can man fight for Stroll is very difficult. So maybe thinking this was the best of those options.
Yeah, outside of the sort of the slot, you're going for some sort of crazy off-meta pick. And that's probably not the best thing to do in a match against Secret. It's going to be a big risk. So.
Bottom, we're seeing, I mean, the harassment, it's already beginning. Like, the way that you can't trade easily. This is what I was kind of trying to say with, like, the sidekick with Techies. you constantly throw it on Techies. Techies is full HP, and CM, even if you nuke the Techies, it's not worth it because he heals from sidekick. So we'll see how they end up how it ends up getting as the lane progresses. Because I feel like for Slark it gets worse and worse because the damage is going to build up for Techies.
So how do you use your spells as a CM in this lane? Like what's the most value?
It's commit for a full kill. You have to use like double spells to commit for a kill. I think spamming the spells is not really going to help too much in this lane because they're just going to offset with the heal. Not easy to just straight go for kills though.
See so far other lanes. Very equal on the CS mid. Supreme, 14 for 2. 13 for 4 on Nisha.
See what happens around the next ruin. That's going to be the big one to indicate. If Supreme's able to actually get one, then maybe he can actually keep up with Nisha. If he doesn't get the rune, though, he's going to be out of mana and can't keep his Fiery Soul stacks up.
I'll see how much focus Secret's able to bring in around the mid. Some support movements.
Yeah, Supreme actually going to be getting his bounty rune, so nice movement by him to fill up his bottle. And he's going to be going for bottom room. So Nisha, they're actually pinging it. Zayats actually saw him pinging. So I guess they saw the Lina moving down. And Nisha can probably play for top rune, and maybe Zayats will help for bottom rune. And we're seeing that move already. So yeah, Supreme, he gets his bounty, at least to fill up his bottle, but he's not going to get one of these water runes. Secret doing a good job.
We'll see them in the mid as well. Not only not getting the rune, but getting his mana burnt, Supreme.
Yep. It's the constant spam from that Invoker. That's why that matchup ends up being a little annoying for Lina. Just unable to keep Fiery Soul stacks in some situations. Looking at top, as we haven't touched, it's the boring lane, of course. Fraser doing excellent, 18-9. Definitely shutting down the troll quite nicely with Ahri. Ahri holding a skill point just in case, too, in case he finds a top toss-back play.
I mean, yeah, could there be kill potential for these two on into the breach? We'll see them try. It's a good chase down onto Crystallis. He'll turn with the Axis to apply the mischance to Jibbe. Slows it down as well, the both of them. Good axe usage there from Crystallis. Will allow him to step to safety.
Yeah, he put the point in the stun rather than saving for toss. I think maybe with the toss, they could have actually perhaps fully committed for a kill just to reposition. But either way, they push him back to the tower, and Crystallis is very low HP. Can't actually step up anyway. So maybe it's just better that they don't kill him. As mid, welcome back to the lane. Supreme immediately eats. Nice stun.
I mean, the Sixers are going to be coming online for both, so. See back top, Crystallis. He's actually going to get run down. They'll get first blood off that.
Ooh, he actually stayed. He actually stayed and showed his face versus these two at like sub half HP.
Yeah, I mean, you said yourself, after he was left that low, you'd imagine he'd be sitting away from the wave for some time, but risks his life there and loses it. Of course,
and now Ahri
not able to have enough sort of save potential at this low level to keep him alive if he steps up like that.
Yeah, now Ahri can make the rotation to mid because of that kill. He can actually ensure this power rune perhaps for Supreme.
And Nisha's
maybe
low.
Nisha.
He's super low there. He'll get caught in the setup. Have they got quite enough burst? Doesn't look like it. Nisha lays down the EMP. He's on the retreat. And as it will be, the power rune ends up being bottom. Kadara will grab that here. Some DDCM ready for some action.
Good lanes, good laning moves though, especially in the top lane as we saw. Almost able to even get the kill onto Nisha. Supreme still definitely going to struggle. Wasn't able to find that rune. He's probably going to have to even back up and heal.
I mean, if he gets his mana up and they get another rotation into the mid, could have kill potential around the Laguna.
You see the constant healing, right? The quas, and then just even raindrops. All these little things for the Invoker to offset anything that comes out from Supreme. Bottom
lane. They're going to try for the setup here. See if they've got enough damage through the silence. Not quite. Kadara's in with the TP. The Taker's going to be fine.
Not actually having the... Oh, yeah, Rezo going for a 0-2-3 build, not having the throwback. Interesting.
I guess he wants to punch. He wants to be able to stand his ground man fight, and he wants to be able to offer up the buff.
Yeah. I mean, it does give them extra damage and stuff like that, but yeah, Dispose, the first level is very valuable.
I'm interested to see sort of if we get a bit of a different route with his item build as well as the offlaner.
I doubt it. I think
it's got to be phase
BKB basher. There's like no, I don't think there's much you can vary with on this hero, except if you like throw in like a Falcon Blade, if you're like a carry or something like that, I think. It's just too good of a build. It literally fits all your needs.
Yeah. And it's all you need to be able to get these ultra kills, as we've seen.
And the really important thing that I will tell people, and this is kind of one of the big things about the Marcy, it's the ult pierces BKB, the slow, which is kind of one of the bigger things. Is even when they get it, the attack speed slow, the movement slow, and the procs, it slows them through it. So.
I mean, that's going to come in huge. If you sort of imagine these fights where maybe Rezo getting in on top of the Razor, and that slow sort of allowing, despite the BKB, allowing the distance to be created between the Troll and the Razor.
Oh, and he is going. Okay, he is going to go the Falcon Blade build. Okay, yeah, I was thinking that's like kind of the only other way that you deviate just to get some mana regen, but does it mean it's a lot more farm heavy and the timing does come out much later for your BKB?
All right. I mean, playing it to the later points of the game worked out well in game one. So, chill out and, take sort of the easier, slower steps through your build.
Up top, nice toss back. Should be able to finish up Puppey here, maybe.
He can go for a TP. Goodbye.
See ya. And with that, Crystal's maybe walking back to lane. Jibe is getting good damage on tower while Kidaro does fall bottom.
Nisha ready for a bit of action. Comes in with a rotation. It's been a bit of a slow start in terms of kills, and we'll make sure that Secret get there first on the board.
Oh, very cool, too. Look at his item build. Nisha not going to earn. Even though he's Quas Wex, he's going to be going for more of a scaling-oriented build. The Witchblade that we've seen a couple times. Witchblade treads double null, no earn.
With this sort of amount of damage and you sort of catch and control that Secret do have, it's just going to be impossible for Otaka to turn up to any fight anytime soon. It's just so hard for this Slark to take part in any sort of action that Secret brings towards into the breach.
This is really nice, though. With that rotation from mid, we see Supreme get heavy damage onto mid tower, actually 1/3 HP. Now mid though, Zayats, Nisha.
Now, look at the setup, see if Supreme can offer up any help. Kadai is going to live. About sort of 7 HP, I think he was falling down towards. So we'll see Rezo's courier also getting sniped by Otaka, so Falcon Blade will sit on the sidelines for a few moments.
Every little thing mattering there. Shovel, raindrop, even branch. That's the things that make the difference for the CM to survive. Next to the tower for the armor, etc. And Supreme gets another rune as well. They'll spawn up top. So all things considered, pretty good for Into the Breach. The Troll, as we know, very shut down. So is the Slark, though, at the same time. He's kind of similar net worth as Crystallis.
Yeah, and the sort of the difference in difficulty for the recovery of both of these heroes is going to be the fact, right, that at a point, Otaka, he's going to need to feed off kills. He's got to find those sort of opportunities to take down heroes. Because as it goes to the AFK farm, a Troll going for the Battle Fury, he's going to win the sort of scaling every day.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more pressure on the map, it would feel, for the Slark. As we mentioned, there's a toss back, Ari. Zayd's able to actually jump himself out of there. Somehow survive anyway. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more pressure on the map overall, what it would feel like from Secret's draft. Because these 3 cores from Into the Breach are very just farm heavy.
Nice catch there from the trees, but no follow-up.
He's going the magic build on Alina as we see the Aetherlands Arcane Boots to start with.
And against these heroes, being able to play the distance and have the setup for the burst gives them that chance to maybe catch Nisha by surprise at some opportunities. See the chase here. The Kadaro, decent position in the trees to lay down the ult. We'll see her take a look to get involved. He's going to find Puppey. This should definitely be a kill here, unless Puppey can do some fast moves, but trapped against the trees, there's no way for him to get down. Into the breach, they'll take out a kill.
Did he get the Agi? No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's going to feel a bit bad.
I'm always checking. And Rezo, he switched back. He bought the Blades of Attack. Oh, no, he actually... Okay,
no, he was on the courier. It died on the courier. Yeah,
so Falcon Blade, and then... Well, I mean, he's massive. He's pretty much going to be the one position, it feels like, this game now. Him and Nisha. Perhaps that's why we did see Nisha also go Witchblade, because they see the Troll is struggling. They want to have these scaling builds. And they can throw the buffs on Nisha at the same time, too, right? You don't have to buff the Troll. You can
That's true. Yeah. You thought it was going to be this Troll getting all the love. It's not. It's going to be the Marcy.
Yeah, you just heavily grace either the Marcy or the Invoker, and then they can actually just kind of transition.
Chrysalis is the backup insurance. He's going to get Battle Fury, AFK, hit the creeps. If they need another carry to come in later on to get the win, he'll be there. But indeed, in the next 10 minutes, it's going to be all about Nisha and resolution.
And constantly just keeping Supreme like half mana as well. He gets an Arcane Rune. so we'll be able to perhaps turn up for a fight. But yeah, they're constantly threatening. This is actually one of the slower EU-paced games that I've seen. I know Eastern Europe was very similar to this, these like very low kill counts, but Secret's just kind of happy with like the farm that they're going to be able to just sit back now, because Crystallis, I don't think there's any threat for him to really get invaded on too much from this Radiant draft, especially once this mid tower continues to be alive. It's up to Tiny, like up to Ari, to be the one to get into these jungles, into this triangle to contest it. He's very low level, low farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Secret, they're the ones making plays. Like they're the ones actually on the hunt in this early game, looking to constantly pressure.
I mean, they know how strong Rezo is around the ultimate.
Radiant are scanning.
And anybody who dares step up by this tier 1 tower probably won't last long.
Nope. They're pinging him. Nisha waiting in the wings. Rezo trying to get a jump off. Can't quite.
They'll see him though.
Kadara. They're getting good farm. Ari now taking some lane farm. Jibe near BKB. Otaker also farming bottom. Mage Slayer is complete. So they're distributing their wealth pretty decently.
See if they want to do anything about this tower push. They're heading over into the breach. They're happy to take this fight.
They're smoked behind. Look at Ari.
See if Secret's prepared to be jumped upon by this angle. Nisha, caught by the avalanche, frostbite as well. They'll land the light strike. The buffs are coming out from Puppey, but it won't be enough. Nisha taken down there as into the breach. They wrap around and, as it seems, catch Secret by surprise, or at least in a manner where they just weren't prepared to have the ability to save their Invoker from getting blown up.
And now they can probably just get this tower too.
Avalanche.
Huge move. Great rotation. Good positioning from Ari.
Absolutely. A nice little bit of outmaneuvering there from into the breach.
I guess Secret really thought that they could push this tower with the Omni Knight backing up the Invoker, but not the case by any means. Crystal still gets the space, of course, because of that, but Nisha does drop down heavily because of it. As Supreme continues to just get his farm. He's actually, okay, he's going to buy the shard, I guess, but he's going to be going maybe Blink Dagger. That's kind of cool. So he's going to look to be more of a playmaking Lina as well, rather than being any type of scaling.
Okay. We'll see top.
I like that. I think it needs to happen.
Comes up, Zayas. He's going to get caught in the toss. Is he still able to jump away from this? He isn't. We'll see Rezo attempt to run in on the two of them. Does he still want to try for an attempt on Ari? Ari staying hidden in the trees. Means that Rezo won't be able to find a way to get in on him. So they'll lose Zayat.
Getting quite a bit of momentum here. Slark getting all the space in the world because of these moves that are happening.
Yeah.
BKB's done for Jibe, so they could even look to
They want to go again.
Go again. Ari Seaton, though.
Yeah. And straight away, they'll get the jump on him. They'll bail out this one, leave Ari to die. Well, let's see, though. Because there is going to be this timing where Slark will be geared up more to turn up to the fights in comparison to the Troll. Which,
absolutely.
Well, we got Mage Slayer into the Aghanim's. You know, this is a full fight build. So as soon as that Axe is done from Otaker, we're going to see into the breach look to make these plays as a 5-man.
Yeah, I feel like Slark's actually quite different now than he used to be, how he plays. Like, you get this Ags and you just... I mean, you did do that before, but now it's like you get these Ashen Sift stacks from it, so you're able to fight even better if you do connect with them. So it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely true.
Yeah.
But yeah, into the breach, they'll have this timing to be able to fight a little bit faster, at least where the Troll's not involved. Secret, the rest of their heroes definitely will still with the fight, but could be situations of 4 versus 5s.
Absolutely. That's it. That's going to be what Into the Breach will look for.
Zayat still no shard either. We did hit 15 minutes. He's about to have it finished. So that's one that Secret also is a bit reliant on to make active plays around the map when the Invoker's not around.
We'll see here.
Rezo.
All right. He's got the setup on Rezo. Puppey will be able to come out with the buffs and they'll step out. Not enough damage or control coming out from the 3 of Into the Breach.
He was very ready for that. Top, they get the D-ward from earlier. I believe it was called from Ari, so Taker brings the sentry up there. And yeah, getting close to Ags, so some good timings at least for them. Maybe that, okay, so I was saying like I didn't really see what timings, at least from draft, that Into the Breach can play around, but perhaps with this, with the Ags on the Slark when it comes out, BKB Razor, that could be a bit of a timing for them. Still no Blink Dagger on Ari for some time, so initiations are going to be a little bit awkward.
It might be just down to getting a good pounce off having that sort of long-range initiation, ability to control someone long enough for your Lina or Tiny to get in position with the follow-up stuns.
Slowly but surely, though. Look at Crystallis. He's like bottom of those cores before. Soon approaching top. He's getting all the space in the world to farm.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, it's down to will this Slark get kills? And if not, then Crystallis, he'll be sitting at the top and only getting further ahead.
Yep, and then he'll join team fights with every buff in the world. So, Nisha trying to deny a rune out there Forge Spirit with the Forge Spirit, can't quite. And Ari, he's getting closer and closer to Blink, so he's farming bottom to get that initiating force that they're still lacking to be able to push their lead a little bit here. Because they do have the other two timings pretty much done. Slark Ags as well as BKB Razor. Just need a way to start that fight and let the Razor get in there. So
we've got a bit of setup now. With the Yules on Supreme.
Okay, he did switch it up. All right, he had the Blink queued with the Shard for some time. I know he bought the Shard, but okay, that's going to be cool, especially versus Troll.
Secret getting into the jungle of Into the Breach in an effort to maybe try and find a taker as he works towards that final component of the Aghanims. But they won't find anyone.
They found Ari. They saw him for a second there. This is a big kill, too. He's so close to his Blink.
Yeah, looking very dead, and no backup will be coming his way.
They give it to Crystallis as well. Oh, that's such a man. That's such a painful death. 2,000 gold. He's dead for 20 seconds. Blink Dagger is going to be stalled quite a lot longer.
And they would have had that sort of timing where he hits that alongside the Ags on Slark,
exactly.
the Yules on Lina. Just when everything may have been able to come together for Into the Breach, it gets taken away from them a little bit longer.
Now there's a Blink on Secret, on Nisha for him to make plays. Well, all things considered, though, it's like this farmy kind of thing where Into the Breach is they're still getting a lot of farm on the map. They're still kind of chilling out. Not the worst case of scenarios for them, by any means.
I'll see how Taker already feels like he's out on the hunt. Checking out the vision sort of situation from Secret.
Rune? Denied. Constantly looking to play around these power runes, just denying them away from the Lina. Zayats?
They might have him in the combo. They do. They'll waste no time deleting the techies.
Good cast range there, of course, the Aether Lens, the Lina. And now the timings are there. I think Ari, Blink Dagger done, Ags on Slark.
Yeah, this is go time.
Let's see.
Not only do you have a situation where it's 5v4, it may be 5v3. You know, suddenly one of the four is Secret that wants to be involved. He's out of the game for a bit of a window. If you strike hard and fast, you should have a good chance of getting a kill. Ari, he'll manage to do that. Set up there straight away onto Puppey. Taker, see if he's got enough build up here with the Essence Shift to take him down. They'll pop the GA Puppey, but it won't keep him alive any longer.
51 stacks on the Slark now. Making a quick rotation also to bottom. They saw the Troll, but unable to quite get him. Secret, they're the ones actually getting pressured this time around. They're just having to kind of sit back and wait until they feel like Crystallis is ready to get involved. Perhaps when BKB is ready. Now they're smoke. They have Reza with BKB. He also has level 12 and Dagger of Ristool. So this is a really big timing also for the Marcy. If he finds pretty much anybody, they'll kill him. Even this Razor, Jibbe, even with Plate Mail.
He's got BKB and Static Link.
Nice timing.
And BKB, Static Link onto the Marcy. Give him a bit of a chance to walk this one off. Backup's coming in. Ari, he's in with the Avalanche out onto the two of them. Zayat's getting very low. There's the combo thrown down by Supreme as he bursts through Nisha. Reza having to run now with the remainder of his BKB, but Into the Breach, they're hot on the chase for Taker. He'll miss the first pounce, and that will actually mean a missed opportunity, or maybe not. Ari, he's still looking to clean up this opportunity for Into the Breach. He's in with the Avalanche onto the two of them. Chase forward here as a Taker closes the gap on Crystallis. Puppey's going to try and head over to back him up. He'll turn, he'll be able to get his ult off, but Supreme buying time with the Yule's control, trying to rip into the Slark, but the stun from the Light Strike comes out onto him. Crystallis goes down. Now Taker, he's looking for more. Those Puppey's hiding in this trees. They'll do a quick sweep at the tree line.
I mean, you have to give Jibbe all the credit in the world. BKBs, while the techies is mid-air, suiciding onto him. I mean, if he gets hit from the stun,
sure. But it's so risky. It's a risky move there for Secret. I think he's getting that BKB off every time, though.
It was from the smoke, though, the suicide. It's It's a pretty quick
Sure.
reaction that the Eraser is able to
We'll
get
see
the
it
BKB off. Like, that is insanely
Actually, no,
fast.
you're right. You're right. That was actually a sort of a
'Cause-
frame before.
Because
That
he
was
dies
wild.
100% there, and then a totally different fight happens. But they were super prepared for this rotation.
And great stuff from Ari on the chase out. You know, getting that first jump in. And then after that, good job getting away from this.
That was honestly big credit to Jibe. Either someone's calling it or he's like literally staring at his hero so closely, because I've seen so many players not able to get the BKB.
No, you're absolutely right. That was as close as it gets.
Because
And
with the dagger of wrist duel, with the sidekick, with the Marcy
Sure.
damage, it would have been enough. But yeah, he gets BKB link off and able to turn. And I thought he would die, like, because of the, even with plate mail, if he gets hit by the stun, he's dead. But yeah, super impressive.
now he's having a great game. Top net worth, and he'll continue to do so, continue to be there after that last move. Going, of course, for the refresher up next. And it's not going to be there too far away. This is going to be a very, very stacked Razor. And we're seeing Into the Breach find these sort of fights that they need to be finding. They're getting Otaker involved, and they're sort of picking apart Secret one by one. And now, towards the top, Nisha is going to be out just in time. I guess Pounce still cool down for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He's used both the charges. But very much a testament to how Secret have to play right now. They've just got to... They've got to stay away from Into the Breach unless they're fully prepared as 5. And even then, it's not easy for Secret to take the fight.
No, not by any means. At this point, with the farm that they have, Supreme also almost has Aghanims. So he can actually just soar in and perhaps kill Nisha in a lot of the fights almost
I think
instantly.
so.
Like, Nisha is incredibly squishy now and under farmed because of these last few situations.
Yeah, 30% spell amp is it's insane. You know, already a hero that just deletes a lot of the heroes on the map, you know, especially 24 minutes in the game. Now with that, you get caught in the combo, you're getting taken down. Puppy's going to have his work cut out for who he's able to save, and even if he's able to save anyone at all, when this amount of damage gets thrown down by Into the Breach's heroes.
And the distance it's going to be too, right? It's Lens and Eye of Vizier. So Supreme's going to be able to cast it from super far, and you can't... It's not even just about the ult. That's something I think people really have to really understand. Like, with the Shard and with this Ags, all your spells are insane. Like, your Light Strike Array is doing 500 damage. Your Dragon Slave is doing 450 damage. Everything is doing insane damage, so...
Well,
I
I
got to
think
get on Supreme.
at the end of the day, it feels like in this first 25 minutes, Secret, they just needed to have a little bit more done by Nisha and Rezo. It's a slow start for these two cores, and uncharacteristically so. You know, it's not normal that you'll see Nisha at the bottom of the net worth when he's playing as Invoker 25 minutes in.
I think they're just getting the rotations and just getting kind of outplayed with Into the Breach. Like, the mid rotation that they wrapped around on was perfect. They kind of set the tempo for them to get these items, and then the top, the read from Jibe. This is really big moves that are setting them up for this very good early game.
That's insane. Yeah, and Refresh Roll's pretty much going to be there for the next fight.
Jesus.
So you know, you couldn't catch him when he had 1 BKB charge. Good luck when he's got 2. Into the Breach, keeping Secret on their toes this time. You know, we saw last game they had a decent opening, but they needed to be ahead. They couldn't do that. This time around, same things to be said in terms of what was required when they run this lineup, but they're executing it to exactly the level they need to. 4K lead, 25 minutes in. It's just a little too much for Secret to deal with at this point.
Yeah, it actually almost feels like the reversal of what I was feeling in this game, where it's Secret the ones unable to really make anything, and they have 3 cores that aren't playmakers, right? Kind of in a way. It feels like that, at least. They have now Basher on Rezo, so they're still decently farmed on their 3 cores. But this Lina and Razor are kind of just, at least the Razor in particular, it's like that counter, of course, for a lot of the damage that'll come out, because he literally is going to have Refresher for next fight.
Yeah.
He can link up even both of the melees.
I'm very much, you know, showing one of the reasons why they'll pick this Lina early on in the draft. Supreme, proving to have a good game, despite what you pick against him. 2-0-3, they've yet to be able to touch him. He's going for the BKB next, so it's going to be even harder to get on top of him.
Nearly
And as you say,
as well.
his positioning's just been perfect in the fights.
Nearly 18 as well. And they don't also, the thing is, they don't have a traditional like frontliner, right, with their lineup. It's an Ari Tiny who just kind of like blinks and initiates. Their frontline is just, it's bizarre.
Sure.
But it's working.
And it was, you know, not the quickest of Blink Dagger timings, but as soon as he had it, we saw how impactful he was in that last fight. And there we go. I mean, Jibe the Art just continue to fly out. That was what the Refresher Orb done. They're ready to go. They're ready to fight here into the Breach. So the question is, if Secret, are they going to be ready for this?
Feels like Secret's the one who are really lackluster in the initiation department now in comparison.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, the initiation is what Zayat's jumping in. or Rezo jumping in. And both of those sort of moves, there's potential for reaction, potential for counterplay. And, you know, if Jibei's as hot on the BKB button as he was in that last situation, good luck being able to disrupt the Razor at the start of a fight.
I imagine even more so this time he will, because he has 2 of them. So
yeah, he'll be more more willing to just throw it down as soon as he catches a whiff of any hero near him.
Scan does come out, catches all Secret on high ground. Crystallis has hit level 18. How's our itemization looking on the supports on Secret? So we do have okay, I was looking to see for the Force Staff. So Zayats does have Force ready. So they at least have one way to break Link, perhaps. Puppy's just saving gold. He has pretty much the Lotus complete, so maybe he's going to look to just link the Link. But I just wanted to see at least one Force Staff. So they at least do have that on Zayats to perhaps protect versus that Link of this Razor.
I mean, indeed, do you think Lotus is going to be the most impactful pickup for Puppy with this amount of money that he's building up?
He tends to be a more greedy of a player. I don't think I ever see Puppy build Force Staff. I think he always goes for the big ticket items. I mean, you can see arguments for it this game for sure. A lot of different cool things, Dispel and Reflect and whatnot. If he gets the timing of it versus the Razor, it'll be godly. If he doesn't, then perhaps not. So.
And we'll see how well Into the Breach can do once, and if the Troll and Marcy get on top of them, right? Because both have their bashers good to go.
He did. Oh, he went basher. Okay, I was waiting to see what Crystallis committed for, because he had the SNY queued up for quite a long time. So it's just gonna be bash bros to stick on targets then. Which, I mean, for the Lina, definitely could be a problem until she has BKB.
I mean, if they get on top of her, and Supreme, as I say, he's been keeping the distance perfectly. He doesn't get any closer than he needs to.
Yeah, they're not giving opportunities for Secret to get on him at all, for sure.
Yeah, and with this timing, they're going to be able to get BKB done on Supreme before the next fight's even needed at this pace.
And I think even on Taker as well, too, so they might even have, quad BKB timing. I said quad because Razor will have 2, but yeah, triple BKB timing for the cores.
It's going to be down to if Secret can get the Troll and the Marcy on top of these heroes and buff them up, keep them alive long enough to be able to stand the ground and man fight against them.
Yeah, it's I think that's really going to be the big thing. Do they get on the Lina? Do they find Supreme? Especially pre-BKB.
That's not going to be much of a window, though. A few hundred gold and he'll have it. I had 9-3. And we're 30 minutes in.
Super slow game.
It's a slow game, but I do feel there's still been a lot to talk about.
It's very like macro game so far, where Into the Breach, because they got that advantage in the mid game, they're able to sit back and farm, where Secret can't actually pressure them. So they're probably just telling themselves, we have an advantage, wait for the timing of BKBs, and then we can just go. Because yeah, they're about to have all the timing. Almost 20 on Lina too. So maybe, I mean, they could even look to be like, hey, I'm close to 20 on Lina. I almost have my Spell Amp talent. Maybe we wait on that too.
I mean, they're getting very, very strong. They really are. And as it's played out so far, they've known the right times to make moves with this lineup, this draft. Something that they're proven to be very confident with, and impressively so, considering sort of the situation in which the Slark was picked up. The pressure was on in the draft, but so far it's fitting perfectly in the way they want to play. We'll see Secret maybe consider. I mean, could they sneak the Roshan, or is there just no way without a fight?
It'll get scouted for sure. Like CM will nuke or something to check the pit. And yeah, that's Kidaro's going to do it right now.
He's going to be like, what are you guys doing in here?
He's like, where are they? They haven't shown in a while. Just has to keep checking, keeping tabs. I see the double blinks also queued up. Maybe Secret want to wait for those blink daggers.
I mean, they have.
That would give them the element.
They've got to get on top of these heroes.
Yeah, I see Crystallis as well as Rezo. Rezo hasn't really farmed much in a long time, but Crystallis, he pretty much has it done if he'd like to. Of course, playing around Roche, they're probably all thinking, of course, of buybacks as well too and stuff, but...
There's the smoke. Into the breach. They're very, very strong at this point. A blink dagger, it's out for Crystallis.
Unbelievably strong. All these BKBs, glimmers. Look how tanky Jibei is too, Sage.
To the point where if Secret see you running at them, I think if you're Secret, you start to run, right? You don't go ahead into this if you see into the breach.
I think you wait your blink daggers. I think you really want to wait for blinks so you can just get on the Lina's face. Rezo might get caught though.
I think he certainly will. Ari in with the jump. Oh, not quite able to get the follow-up from the light strike. So we'll be BKBs out from both cores, both offlaners as they'll split.
Ship has got a second one though.
Secret still hanging around. Zayat's gonna look for the jump in. See Ari in return, jump the back line, so Taker's going to be able to put the BKBs in over towards Puppy, but this time Chrysalis closes the gap on Jibe. Jibe out of the fight for a minute. Taker's BKB soon to be coming to an end, and Supreme has got to be careful as well. Puts the BKB, tries to get away, but Chrysalis, he's in on top of him. They're on top of the Lina. They try and protect Supreme, turn with another stun, and in fact, Ari gets the avalanche off. That's Chrysalis going down. Nisha, he's trying to deal with Supreme, throws out the Meteor, but he's able to kite this out, Supreme, as he steps to the side, turns back towards Nisha. Nisha falls, Rezo jumps in, finally finishes off the kill onto the Lina, but it's down here to the two of them. Zayats and Rezo, see if they can hold back against Otake. Otake's going to still want to go, though. Finds the angle, pounce over towards Rezo. Still has the rebound up, though. And with Zayats around, will manage to jump away. 38 essence shift there from Otake, getting the big numbers. But so overall, Secret coming out with the fewer casualties. They take out 4, they lose 3.
Especially with this type of disadvantage of the fight, they definitely come out ahead. The Troll, Chrysalis, he just blinks on top of Razor, kills him pretty much as the fight starts. That was a really good play, actually.
That's what you got to do.
All things considered, too, where the way it started, like Secret having to defensively pop BKB and stuff like that, I think they're probably pretty happy with that, at least for the Troll. Nisha, though, continues to struggle. He actually blinked in the face of them at the end there and gets killed.
I think one thing that tripped them up as well was that position where they tried to finish off Supreme, but I believe what Otake with the shard, able to provide that depth throughout, that bit of protection for Supreme during those last moments.
Oh, good call. Actually, I didn't get to see this. Yeah, I didn't get to see the depth shroud.
You know, Chrysalis, again, trying to get on top of these important heroes, but Depth Shroud just stops him in his tracks, gives Supreme that chance to live that little bit longer, get a few more spells out, and bait Nisha into this position where he's jumping in aggressively and ends up losing his life as a result of it.
I was clicking around too. I was like, did he get glimmered? I didn't actually see the select shard, so good call. Yeah, great save there.
I think it was only just picked up before that fight. I think.
Yeah,
we haven't seen it in action yet. And talking about the dispels, Otake, he's going to look to have that covered. Wants to get the nullifier.
Okay, I mean, they need somebody to get rid of these buffs at least. But yeah, okay. I mean, we got to see finally, I feel like the first team fight of the game where everybody was involved, so we get to see the potential of the further ones for sure as it does increase. And we get to see Crystallize finally do something, right? Finally be able to get on top of a target.
Into the breach, they want to go again. They want to strike. Otake, he's going to look to the double pounce, keep the control up onto Zayats. Crystallize trying to help out, but already under the Shadow Dance. Nothing too much they can do initially. Now the Shadow Dance comes around, they'll try and fight this, but Ari, in with the Blink Avalanche, forces Secret to back off. Puppy will buy back immediately. Chrysalis, he's going to blink it. He's on to Jibe, but Jibe's going to be able to break away from Chrysalis during the battle chance and the BKB. Chrysalis will be able to turn towards Kadara, get his hands on him instead, kills him off before the Glimmer Cape comes into action. So if they can get more, I mean, Ari, a stun control on Rezo. Chrysalis trying to get in onto the Tiny. We'll see a buyback from Kadara into the breach. They're the ones that want to keep this fight going. Ari struggling his way up to the high ground. Sunstrike is coming in, finishes him off. Nisha's able to catch him on the retreat.
Get the
Still ready to go. Set up the pounce. See Puppy providing the buffs, allowing Chrysalis to break away from this. And Taker will be able to disengage once more.
That was incredibly scary. Puppy being forced to buy back to make sure that his cores are able to reset away, needing that Heavenly Grace.
They can look for Roshan, though. Despite the fight not being too clean for Into the Breach, they're around the pit. It's been scouted. Actually, that will scare them to the point where they won't try and look to sneak it. They were considering it, but obviously not really the best of lineups to try and take it while Secret's alive.
Not if Slark. Slark needs to have a ton of stacks if they want to go for those type of Roche steals. He does not have nearly enough. And I think Ari's super important. I think they have to wait for this Tiny too. Watching the way he's taking the fights with his Blink Force, he's getting multiple series of Avid tosses in on like 2 heroes every time. So I think he's actually one of the most important ones in the fights for control. Christos has finally taken top net worth, though. After a struggling game, he's finally made his way up there.
And a lot of money at the moment still unspent on Otake. He is close to the nullifier, but very much the feeling that he'll want to have that done before he's forced to fight again. Helm on its way out, just a few hundred off the relic. All right, so next fight.
Okay. Crystallis is going for the MKB, I guess, for that halberd and stuff, and they're forcing him to carry a dust on the Troll. He's got to have it for the CM, for the Glimmer Cape.
And then they've got to be so prepared for this Blink Hex from Nisha. You know, they're getting all these items up that are going to make it very hard for, like, Supreme to sort of survive that initial burst from Secret.
Ooh, Ari in a beautiful position there, breaks the smoke. And a timeless relic. Ooh, Supreme, if he'd like that.
I think he certainly would.
He got the dream. He got Spell Prism and Timeless Relic, so he's got to pick and
what do you
choose which
take?
one. Timeless Relic.
I think so, right. That was sort of on top of the spell amp from the Ags. You know, you do the maths, because I certainly won't be. It's a lot of damage.
It's insane.
And the talent as well. Spell amp for days. You get caught in this sort of combo. I mean, of course, having the Omni Knight's definitely going to be able to offset a bit of it with the, sort of the buffs you provide. So in the middle, Ari. The jump setup onto Zayat. Zayat's trying to get away from this, but Oteka in on top of him will finish him. He's going to look towards the next kill. He's over towards Puppey. Nisha trying to hold him back with the Tornado, but the BKB's out from Oteka. In the air for now, Puppey, but it'll come straight back down into the claws of Oteka, and Oteka's not done. He'll look towards Rezo. Rezo puts the BKB in the ult, tries to turn towards Oteka, but the Death Shroud's down. He cannot stay on top of this slot for now. Zayat jumps back in here. He's committed with the buyback to try and help them take this fight. They'll put the refresher on Razor. Ult from Crystalis. He's heading in over towards Shibe. He's in on top of him, but indeed no damage being done whatsoever. Finally, the BKB comes out as he'll continue to try and trade with Shibe, but he's already lost so much damage that Crystalis, he has to run. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any help to help him get out of there. Crystalis is gone. See if they can still redeem this fight. He'll commit with a buyback, Crystalis. They're looking to do their best to turn this, trying to hunt down Shibe. Get glimmered in those last moments, but the dust is out. Another buyback, this time from Into the Breach. Supreme, ready to step back in, and there's the jump. Ari, he's in with the avalanche over the two of them. Nisha, he's got to run his solo. He's able to get the Ghost Walk off in time, but the Laguna catches Crystalis. That's a dieback on the troll. Pounce from Oteka, he'll be able to find Nisha off to the side. Secret, they're two big cores out of the game, and no buyback available for either.
And they've got Roche now available into the breach. I mean, amazing team fight really from them. It's awkward fight really from Crystalis in particular. They are able to just, they disarm him, they stun combo him, they bait out the whole battle trance. Then he buys back and just gets controlled again. They're just toying with him at this point.
I mean, maybe sort of, I don't know if this was the BKB was on cooldown, but we saw the initial ult come out without the BKB.
I think it was up. When I clicked him, it was up at least.
And that's always a risk, right? If you're going in with the ult but not getting the BKB off first, you're going to run into difficulties.
Yeah, you're gonna run into Heaven's Halberd every time. Jibe on point with it every single time. Itemization, like everything really from this Razor has been perfect.
Yeah, Jibe's crushing it.
Yep, and Supreme, yeah, used the buyback before. They'll give him the Aegis. They're doing excellent jobs in all these fights, and we're not seeing literally not really feeling the effect and the damage, at least from all the buffs that we talked about, you know, the Heavenly Grace Alacrities and stuff like that. I feel like Secret's not able to stick on targets because they're actually constantly getting kited themselves too. Rezo, he's 2-0 and 9-0. He hasn't died yet, but I'm not feeling him able to really stick on targets at all.
Oh, that's very true.
Dire's structures are
And now into the breach.
Dire's
Towards the tier 2 top. Secret now down 8k. And having to deal with a situation now where they're going to have to fight into a Lina and an Aegis.
And now they can't do the buff-ups, of course. As you mentioned previously, you know, there was the Nullifier that had come out from the Slark even before that last fight, so definitely really difficult for Crystalis to get into any of these fights. Has to just be super careful how he pops trance, how he pops BKB, everything. Feels like he has to kill somebody in a battle trance, so the fights are going to be pretty horrible.
We'll see, you know, for Into the Breach now, when you have this sort of lead, like, are you still under pressure to keep the pressure on? Or with the way things are going, you're kind of comfortable in this point?
I think you're very comfortable. You have 3 cores that can, there are 2 cores that can scale really hard, at least in the right-click department, and 1 that scales in the one-shot hero department of the Lina, which is close to 25.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, all 3 cores in a fantastic spot.
And I'm actually really glad, because I was a little worried that I'd see Supreme do the right-click build. I'm so happy he went like the spellcaster. I know it's more of a standard this time, but I'm still seeing some right-click Lina, so this was the perfect spellcaster Lina game, because his 2 other cores are those right-clickers.
Now for Secret, what's the play from them? Is there any sort of item coming up soon that they want to try and get done that might help them turn the tide?
No, I mean, you just need to blink and one-shot a target with your Hex and your Suicide combos. Like, you need to just kill a target immediately with your jumps. But it can't be Supreme because he has Aegis.
Oh, Rezo!
Rezo?
He's going to jump in for this. He has to immediately rebound back out of that, as pretty much the entirety of Into the Breach reveal themselves. He has to run back with a BKB usage.
BKB and ult popped on full retreat.
That was the ult as well. That's going to be painful. Ari, he's looking to hunt them down.
They have so much chase. 5 seconds on the next pounce. Zayat's, he'll get away. does not feel easy for Secret to kill any of the targets. Nisha is queuing up Refresher, maybe feeling like they need like a double Hex, double Meatball, double Sunstrike kind of combo to kill.
Top tower is under attack.
Because just feeling lots of weaknesses, or lots of weaknesses now at this point versus what they're up against to actually kill any of these and burst them in time. Almost 3 level 25s coming out too. Jibit 23. Taker's about to hit 25, Alina as well.
Who's got the most impactful 25 out of these three?
Ooh, out of these three? I mean, the Razor one is pretty insane.
Yeah.
The static link steals attack speed, I gotta be honest. But the Lina one is also pretty busted, the Pierce's immunity. Because then you just literally always have free reign to be able to ult these BKB targets.
Yeah, and especially when it's piercing immunity with the amount of damage that it does.
Yeah, all that spell amp.
Yeah. Secret are starting to trying to gather themselves together here. Preparing for the inevitable, into the breach. They are so hungry for anything in this sort of situation that if you show yourself in any of these lanes, they'll be straight on you.
Yeah, they're fast to rotate, and I like this game a lot of how they've stuck together more and not really shown people and getting picked off almost at all. I think I've seen like nobody really get picked off. Well, last time, like Supreme in particular, he got picked off constantly from Nisha. They're doing a good job of babying each other really nicely with the rotations.
It's certainly feeling like it. If Secret can't get Chrysalis into the fight and keep him alive, if this troll dies early on, sure, Marcy has potential, but just across the board, it feels like the damage just won't be there. Outside of the troll being able to get kills to sort of threaten into the breach's heroes at a pace fast enough.
Xiebe showed himself. They might go for this. He has a Linken's, though. This might trip them up on the initiation.
I was going to say, you're not getting that Blink Hex off anytime soon. See, over to the side. Ari pretty much able to get a 4-man avalanche out, but the BKB and the ult from Chrysalis, it's there. Head over towards Kadari, but Kadari is able to apply some time with the Glimmer. They didn't quite have detection. Chrysalis just gets deleted by Supreme. He's out of the game. Over to the side, Zayats and Nisha, they're trying to deal with a Taker, but the Depth Shroud's up. Nisha still wants to attempt to finish this off. He's got the Hex, but Kadari catches Zayats off to the side. It's 2 dead on Secret, and Nisha, he's having to run. Goes into the breach, they're looking to chase. We'll be able to blink to the side, and a TP out will get him away. That's 2 heroes down, and indeed, you're just seeing there the unbelievable amount of damage that this Lina offers up. As soon as that ult comes to an end on Chrysalis, so does his life, if the Lina's alive and in range.
I have to give a lot of credit to the breach for their reaction times this game, too. Xiebe with the BKB earlier. This fight was Taker with the Dark Pact. They jumped him on the high ground to hex him, and I'm pretty sure that's how the fight started. He Dark Pacted it off. They wanted to burst him, not the Tiny, but he's able to just Dark Pact off and survive because of the initiation. So 2 times now they get these kind of godly beats.
He's ready to go, jumping up here towards tier 4s there to try and find some setup. They're holding back Secret. With 2 heroes down, they don't stand a chance of defending this mid-racks. Into the breach, they'll take it. Could maybe look for more. Top is exposed, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like there is any pressure. They can take it chill, back up, get the outpost, maybe even wait for the next Roshan if they want to. They can feel and they know how far ahead they are of Team Secret right now.
Yeah, especially when the Lina just goes and almost one-shots the Troll Warlord, right? Supreme.
Check this out again.
We'll see it again. I'm pretty sure, right? Look, yeah, the Dark Pact comes off as he got hexed, and he's able to get his ult off, so... Yeah, they want to burst Slark. They can't. Fight becomes really complicated.
Look at this. They couldn't kill the CM. I mean, off to the side, Kadara just hides. And of course, these 2 cores, Rezo and Chrysalis, they've not got detection. So Kadara able to live. And next thing you know, you just... Oh, there we go again.
He got it back.
And absolutely right. Last game, it was Nisha just blowing up Supreme right outside of his base. This time, revenge is definitely being had.
Oh, that's got to feel so good. Supreme making a full comeback this game. Fully 6-slotted, 6-2-8.
Yeah. No, very much sending a message. Hey, you want to pick your Invoker early? I'll pick my Lina early, and I'll come in with the big plays. He certainly has. It's like, how do you even deal with this? Again, you need to get on top of him. But at this point, with this many items, this much farm, and sort of the lack of it on the cores of Secret, it just feels like that's not going to happen.
At this point, she's too big. Yeah, she even has Wind Waker, so multiple different ways to protect herself now, too, once it gets out on the career. They're so far ahead now. Really beautiful teamwork from Into the Breach this game. And just the reads, I have to give them massive credit for their timings, the BKBs, the Dark Packs, etc. It's been an excellent game from them and from everybody, really. As I mentioned, for Ari, his Tiny's been spectacular this game. His constant like resets and initiations have been perfect.
Yeah, it's been just sort of great to see this Slark response work out. You know, something that looked kind of concerning from the draft, but Otaka, he's been crushing with it. And just as a whole, as a team, it just seems like they know exactly how to play around it. And in a situation where a lot of the popular and top sort of carry picks were being limited, and the question was what will match up against what Secret have done here with all these buffs for the Troll? The way they've played has been the perfect answer. They'll move into the Roche pit now. Secret, they won't be able to contest this. Or if they do, it's going to be a bit of a YOLO attempt.
Yeah, I love the itemization too. I mean, the Ags is very standard, but he went Mage Slayer first item, right? Just so he can have this little bit of mana regen and whatnot. It's really nice to farm, and then you're not worried about like getting ganked from the techies because you have all this magic resist. So I think, yeah, across the board Into the Breach, they played this game super well and yeah, incredibly attentive to when these like plays come with those BKBs and whatnot. So lots of 25s now, as we mentioned. Shibit 25 also. Rezo finishes up a refresher, so at least he'll have the second BKB and second ult inside of fights, but pretty close to him not having mana for everything.
Well, Supreme, he's feeling cheeky here. He's ready to blow someone up if he steps in.
Anybody he sees is dead. It's 3,000 burst damage about.
Stay away from the Lina if you value your life. I'll see how well Secret's able to hold here on the high ground defense. It's not going to be easy.
No, Otaka. I mean, all the cores are absolutely massive, and they also have to just watch out for toss-back plays, too, on Secret.
Yeah, Jiba's like, you know what, let's just wait for the AC.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Get that done. And sort of,
farming.
The emotional damage as well, right? When you draw out a victory like this, knowing that, you know, there's still a third game, everything to be played for in that. You know, you're really looking to get under Secret's skin in preparation for that deciding game.
Supreme, he showed himself.
See what they can do. I mean, they've tried to jump Supreme with the Hex. Nisha now revealing himself. Yeah, he's got a BKB TP. Cannot take any risks there out on the map.
They were trying to get the setup for the Lina, but they almost got set up themselves. All three lanes pushing in.
$15 minutes on the clock. A longer one of the games that we've had in these qualifiers.
One of the slower starts as well, too. This one was very slow.
I think it was I mean, yeah, Secret, as far as aware, they're only like 3 kills in at 30 minutes. See to the side, they've managed to catch Zayats out of the base. Rezo will look to come in with the BKB, but again, he's having to use this BKB to run. As a taker will be focused. Chrysalis jumps in, but oh my goodness, the E-blade into the Laguna. He's been brought so low there from the combo.
He's
gone. Not going to be able to survive through that at all. Dead out of the game for 90 seconds. They'll step up towards Puppey. As the buyback will come out. But Ari, he's ready for another jump onto Rezo. Rezo doesn't have buyback available. Zayats goes down. Chrysalis, he tries to step in, but gets disarmed. Supreme, he's ready to run him down. There's the combo once again. Doesn't even need a Laguna, as that's going to blow through the Troll. They'll catch out Nisha. Triple kill for Supreme. Zayats will throw his body in an attempt to hold them back, but there's no way of turning around this game. As they're just taking them apart one by one. They'll look to close it up with a team wipe, and there it is. Everybody dead. Supreme gets the Ultra.
He didn't get the rampage.
Comeback from him.
He deserved the rampage.
In terms of what happened in game one, he did. He really did. His Lina performance there, fantastic. And it was an early pick in the draft. He didn't care what you did against him. He knew he was going to have a good game, and he certainly did exactly that. 41k lead, 52 minutes in. Fog, we're going to a game 3 in a series where I think Secret may be a little shaken up after that game. They may have expected to turn up today, first round of the qualifiers. looking for an easy series. They're not getting that here. They're really not. This game 2 was pretty brutal. The whole second half, it just looked hopeless for Secret.
Yeah, and I had some doubts as well, especially about the end of the Breach draft, but they made it look, I mean, they made it look perfect, especially around like those 2 big fights, getting the BKBs off, turning things, and just making Crystallis look like a creep, kind of. He kept battle trancing, and they just toyed with him. Either a disarm, a stun, a tossback, etc. They really had this Troll's number. And yeah, into the Breach, this is a big deal for them, especially too, because now you've broken the series, you've broken the Invoker, like you mentioned, and now maybe you can look to prioritize Supreme's heroes a little bit more, and maybe just go for this big win.
I mean, absolutely. We've already seen today, you know, one of the big names, one of the big teams expected to go far, getting knocked down to the lower bracket. You know, Enigma Galaxy dropping the series to Goon Squad. And now in this situation, who knows what's going to happen in game 3? But after those 2 performances, I think they're more impressive at the 2 teams over in terms of overall sort of cohesiveness and nature of the way that they play. It has been into the Breach. That second victory, it really did look like it broke Secret.
Yeah,
you know,
it looked like a big overall like team win, right? Where everybody was playing off each other. While in the last one, it felt like Secret, yes, everybody was playing overall pretty well, but it felt like a lot of the Nisha just kind of taking control of the game. This game, when they actually addressed Nisha, we saw a big falter from Secret. So maybe something that Into the Breach can adapt to and look to bring into this next game.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to love the game 3s, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting it here today. Who's going to be able to take it? Secret versus Into the Breach now, 1-1. We'll see who's able to hold on here in the upper bracket and who's going to end up getting that trip down to the lower after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, he got addressed,
Secrets
and
turn
I think
to
they'll probably just give that one to Zaya. So.
Okay. Yeah, which may have been the plan in that last game, but you know, for whatever reason, well, for an understandable reason, because of course Zayats is, you know, sort of top tier on the techies, they kind of maybe changed it in that last moment to be able to fit the techies into the draft.
Yeah, I think they really thought that they was going to have this like explosive team fight element inside, like at the 15-minute mark where they're, you know, Invoker, Quaswex, he's always like sneaking around, finding Lina, they're always getting this initiation with the techies on top of it, but it actually like never happened. And Supreme just didn't give the opportunities, so maybe the idea of the game did not go the way the sides had anticipated. Now we'll see the annoying heroes for Void, at least in game and in lane, so Viper, Beastmaster banned.
10 seconds.
Any heroes in particular that you do want to see comboed up with the Void? You know, something like, you know, is sort of like the Puppey Snapfire going to be high on the list?
Perhaps. I'm a little shocked that Death Prophet's not been so prioritized, at least in this matchup. Perhaps that one's still going to trickle through because that's one of those like super top heroes at the moment. Does give you good push, gives you tight inside of pretty okay fight inside Chrono. Could be an option. I just always want somebody, some things that come in Chrono. I never like seeing a Void draft where it's just Void dishing the damage out.
5 seconds remaining.
Inside that Chrono in particular.
Absolutely, especially in the way that we see Secret kind of choose to play, where for a large portion of the early game, Crystallis just doesn't really tend to get involved.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to need a lot to come out for sort of Rezo and Nisha's hero in terms of impact in the early stages.
I think Death Prophet and Queen of Pain look a little likely, at least for me, for Nisha, just because I think he's looking more for like lane bullying. I see the bans, at least from Into the Breach. I see the Kunkka ban too, so they're looking to protect this Invoker matchup.
Yeah.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've seen people pick the Invokers and stuff, and you can do okay versus you can trade like in a way versus like these Quaps, but you have to play really well around the first 2 waves in particular. If you're gonna go Exort. See the Quaswex do pretty decent with those, like, you constantly set the mana of the remaining. Yeah, we'll see which one Nisha does opt for.
5 seconds
What ban Into the Breach want to close up this stage of the draft with? If they want to take something else away from Puppey.
Another Beast ban. So similar bans to last time, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Beast, Tench, and I can't remember what the last ban was.
Did they have a Chen early on in the bans?
One of them was.
10 seconds
last game was
remaining.
It was Void. That was the last ban they did.
Ah, yeah, of course.
But Death Prophet's in the pool.
Chen's
and
in the pool, and so that, yeah.
Yep.
But you're right, DP here for Secret. Certainly can see it.
Yeah, looks definitely possible.
Yeah.
Other options.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, what else would you like to see Rezo on?
5 seconds.
Just a traditional offlaner, more, to be honest with you. Like any traditional offlaner. Marcy's not the most traditional. I just want him to be like a regular initiating hero. Okay.
No. I will imagine this isn't going to be the mid Mirana that we saw from, you know, of course, Goon Squad show us was possible earlier.
I would imagine not. It gives some. This has good like potential with like the lots of setup with Chrono and with Marcy aggression, but I'd imagine that's Zayats.
Yep.
But I mean.
But then is this going to be a Marcy Mirana lane?
That's what I'm like thinking. This could maybe be switched up. Perhaps maybe it's a 3 Mirana. I don't know, actually.
I mean, the lane can work right in the sense that, you know, if you're taking points in Dispose, you've got a bit of setup for the arrow. If you're able to sort of tear people away from the lane, throw them to the side.
The Harat, just right-click with Sidekick is decent, too. You have arrow for the gen. I don't know. This is interesting. Yeah. It's likely to be a support, but definitely always fun to theory craft with this one since we did get to see mid-Mirana. And core Mirana got buffed because of the leap buff.
I mean, if you're going to play these as your 2 sort of 3 and a 4, do you still want to just get a CM for Puppey?
I'm thinking some setup, yeah. Someone to CM Willow. Willow probably not the nicest.
You want to see something like sort of down that route rather than like the Omni Knight again, right?
Yes, I don't want him being some saver with Void. I don't know if that's okay, the Doctor. Someone that contributes into Chronosphere as well.
Absolutely.
Cask is different now. It's not 5 seconds on the Chen creeps or anything like that, but it's still lots of damage at least, and it does give you Void. Chrono damage.
10 seconds remaining.
Can be a bit of a vulnerable hero though, right?
It can
5
definitely
seconds.
You know, you see sort of these tinies and invokers. We'll see what sort of route the invoker goes with the skill build, but if it's like an exhaust, an avalanche, and a sunstrike thrown your way, and you're not going to have the chance of being able to lay down a death ward in a team fight. It's going to be very hard to do so at the least. Let's see, what do they want here for the carry? And for Jibbe, and for both sort of sides. I mean, Jibbe very much stepped up in terms of his impact in that game too. He was massive on the Razor.
Was. I'm so curious about this Witch Doctor, actually. Because, like, the people used to pick it versus Chen because you'd have 5-second stuns on creeps with caskets. No, it hasn't.
I'm sure he reads his patch notes. Folks.
I'm
worry.
hoping. I'm hoping.
Don't worry.
I've seen some stuff. This was a while ago. This was 7.31. It was about a year ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. How long was 7.31 ago? What was the date on 7.31?
It was before last TI, weren't it?
It was a while.
It was a long time ago.
So,
back when
I mean,
I
either
was
way,
a young kid.
It is a hero that's strong for Chrono, but I'm really curious to see why he'd want to pick it into this one, into this draft. So, kind of cool. Maybe the heal. I don't know. The heal does damage now. As I don't know if anybody even knows that one, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, don't try and do any crazy builds where you're trying to buff that. It doesn't work.
No, you cannot go Holy Locket.
Don't go some sort of DPS heal build. It does not work.
Don't worry, I've had so many games with like 1-4-1 Witch Doctors now because those damage is like the funniest build ever. And we'll get DP for Into the Breach, so a really good push hero. Synergizes well with this Chen. Silence can be really valuable versus this Void and Void Marana.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. Silence just wrecks all these heroes. I mean, it wrecks a lot of heroes, but
it wrecks like everyone in theory.
In terms of the timings of when these heroes are going to want to be impactful, they're not going to have ways to protect themselves from it. And yeah, getting Death Prophet as a 4th pick certainly feels a lot better across the board in this meta than getting a 4th pick Witch Doctor in terms of what we know what these heroes do.
I would be inclined to agree.
And this will be, you remember what this is going to be Jibbe taking this to the offlane. And
from what it looks like, yep.
10 seconds.
So
he's got a tiny at his side, which for me, in my opinion, way better than having like a Pango at your side. He can actually protect you, provide some stuff inside the lane, you can get kills, etc. So.
Now, what does Otake want to do? Like, do you want to go for some sort of nimble carry that's going to be able to jump and dodge around the sort of the Chronos and such? Or do you want to go for something that's just going to be able to not care about being Chronoed?
That's what I was thinking as well, too, because I'm seeing the bans right now. TB ban, that's one that does care about being Chronoed, for sure.
Honestly, after that last game, I'm kind of down for him to play Slark again. It's a good Slark game.
5 seconds remaining.
You go for this sort of Ags build, suddenly, good luck trying to pounce, leap, and time walk away.
Chronosphere is kind of the counter, though. That's the one. That's like picking Weaver into Void
yeah, but you just dodge it. Just dodge it, look.
Just dodge it.
Just press pounce. I don't know. He really impressed last game on his slot.
I mean, he was really, really good.
And outside of the Chrono, it's not. It's a good slot game. But you're right. Maybe they'll respect that Chrono enough to not go for it.
I mean, it literally shows him. Like, it shows the hero.
I know. But you got to hit it, and he could be all,
yeah. Fair enough. I guess I could. I could.
But
I don't
so
like
you want to go the route of sort of having some big carry that just is going to have the farm to get like good BKB or something to allow them to just survive through a Chrono, stop that sort of follow-up damage causing issues to them.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, most likely. I'm trying to think. Honestly, I was looking. I'm like, maybe it's not a bad Pudge game. You're playing into Void.
Yeah, but you're playing into Maledict, though, right?
That's true. But then
that's kind of
right?
That's sort of the tank busting spell.
It is. All right, how about this? Looking at their Lone Druid with their draft.
Does he play it?
He does.
He does. Okay, yeah. I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad shout.
What's it with?
Secret. They'll close up with what will probably be the mid Pango, right? Yeah, you're going to have this Marana Marcy playing the lane together.
Okay, interesting. Purple, like blue-purple draft from Secret, too. We're kind of synergizing in colors.
10 seconds remaining.
A lot of team fight. A lot of damage this time. At least if Pango's alive, they'll have. It's kind of reliant on damage for Pango again. Not the most to throw inside Chronosphere. They have the Marana and the Witch Doctor kind of spells, but.
What do they want to go? What do they want to do?
Let's see.
Dawnbreaker coming in. And
it's their old carry route. They used to do this.
Yeah.
This was actually, I believe, banned in the first phase by Secret last game. Am I wrong? I remember them banning Dawn. Yeah, they banned it first phase last game.
I mean,
so maybe something that slipped their minds, because it is one of those carries that Otaker does play.
It is. You're going to be pretty beefy. And, of course, you are going to have that ability to save or provide some sort of opportunity for other heroes to live if Chrysalis doesn't go for the chrono on yourself. If he tries to go for someone else in these situations, there's a high chance that Otaker will be able to fly over and provide that chance to turn the team fights around.
Susceptible, very susceptible early game, though, as this Dawnbreaker into this lineup. Even jumping in, because even if you do jump in, let's say, into like a chrono or something like that, you're jumping yourself into a lot of spells that can connect on you easily. Like if Nisha's not caught in chrono, he will rip you apart early game. But they do have it's a really fast-paced draft from Into the Breach this time around. It does scale pretty strong as well too, that Invoker Dawn combo, but it's gonna hit towers early.
Yeah, no, for sure. If they start getting that sort of similar momentum as they did in Game 2, easily the potential to close this game down a lot quicker. You know, this isn't going to be one that they'll choose to draw out or need to draw out if they do start taking those early objectives. Well, we're looking forward to see how this one plays out. As I said, I think a lot of people were expecting Secret, maybe even themselves, to turn up today. First series for them of the qualifiers, get that 2-0 out the way. It's not happening. That Game 2 Into the Breach showing that without a doubt, Secret, they may be the ones that end up struggling in this series today. Game 3, draft's done, game started. We'll get you into the action here as everything on the line for who's going to be able to stay in this upper bracket, who's going to find their way down to the lower. We're going to know very, very shortly here with this final game of the series to be played.
We're in for a treat this game too. We have, I mean, what should be a lot more kills on the map than the last one, because I think we only had like 3 kills.
It was a slow
15 minutes or something.
It was something crazy.
This one should have a lot faster pace, a lot more action. Witch Doctor Void constantly going to try to go for kill threat. I mean, Pango Invoker, that's going to be a bit of a trade farm, but important to point out, we're going to have to watch for the dispels from the Invoker versus Shield Crash in mid game. Can definitely be really strong. And then, of course, also one of my favorite interactions, that one thing that I will always point out or try to point out, Marcy with Pango, the sidekick plus swashbuckle. So I'll have to kind of factor that in a lot of times. You want to burst Pango down, because if he gets a swashbuckle off in mid-team fights with the sidekick, he full heals, essentially.
I mean, all in, because you might, Supreme Heal go for the Quaswex build this game, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's just going to be so disruptive in those mid-game fights.
Yeah, and he has like a Chen, so otherwise there's like no playmaking. He needs to be one to move around. Can't just be relied on Tiny to be ones to do stuff around the map. So you could get 3 again. That's different from Zayats. Goes for the Starstorm level 1. The damage is, it's a lot easier now to land that secondary, the fall from the Starstorm, so I guess he just wants the most damage possible inside the lane. The mana cost is really good level 1 too, but yeah, definitely different.
I mean, and overall, do you like that this top lane is being played this way around, with Rezo once again giving it a shot on the core offlane Marcy?
I prefer a core Marcy to a core Mirana most times.
Yeah, but sure, yeah.
Honestly, straightforward, so. Yeah, I'm curious because of the starting build too. I especially versus Chen. I really thought he was just gonna get arrow and try to arrow the creep that Chen takes, but now he has Starstorm, so.
I mean, I imagine he'll get it level 2, right? Or will he be pressured to get leap?
I mean, maybe he feels like he needs to go for leapers. I don't know. It's different. Kadaro is kind of out-trading him here.
Oh, he really is. This is a fair bit of damage that Zayats is going to have to walk off. And again, Kadaro getting himself a new creep, knowing that there's nothing that Zayats can do to take it off him.
Zayats is just dead.
I think he is.
I'm pretty sure he's just going to get purged again and just chased.
Yeah, it's going to be first. Oh, Verifier.
There's another one. There's another purge. He's got like no cooldown. Oh, miss.
What a miss. He's got him. First blood. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that probably what happens when you take level 1 Starstorm if you do that in your pubs, isn't it, Fog?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I was really astonished that he did take it. Okay,
if you have an arrow elite there,
him.
you're probably living. You're definitely living.
You're definitely living. Okay, well that happened. It does make it so Rezo wasn't a 1v1 versus the Dawnbreaker, where he was winning the trades at the least, but yeah, I mean, never good to just give up a death like that to a Chen, who's just auto-attacking you.
He's got potential to be a strong lane, right? If you start getting the levels, you've got the regen in this top lane, a lot of sustain from Into the Breach's safe lane duo.
Absolutely, because Kadaro, he also, that's something else to point out, he has the hard camp open. That's why he was able to actually get this creep even in general. If you look, because he got that creep, that means that the OP creep is available. The Mind Stealer is there if you'd like to take it on Kadaro.
Is that so what you want to go for?
Always. Yeah. If it's available, I think it's the best, by far the best creep. You provide your lane mana, and you negate the enemy team mana in a lane, so. Yeah, he's got the arrow, so he's safe. It looks like he's going to be playing a lot around rotations. He actually queues up a bottle on Zayats.
All right. Okay. Yeah, a very different approach we're seeing here. I mean, what do you sort of have to get done to make that bottle worth it?
I mean, you just have to rotate a ton. That's literally it. You just have to make sure that you're filling it up and putting pressure on lanes. You know, Invoker's not going to go for bottle, so I guess that's what he's trying to play around. Is he's filling up his bottle, and so is Pango, if he does make early rotations. So if he does opt for it.
Seeing some pretty good pressure as well from Supreme in this mid lane.
He's doing excellent. I actually was going to point that out even in the earlier waves.
It will feel very, very good for Supreme, you know, if he's able to do well in this game. It's just sort of the overall story right between the mids. You have this game 1 where Nisha crushes on his Invoker. Game 2, grabs it early in the draft, but has a very unimpactful performance. And now in this game 3, Supreme showing that he can pull off just the same as Nisha was able to do so in game 1, or at least that's what he's going for here.
Full bottom, Ahri. Avalanche on cooldown. It's
going to take a bit of...
they can actually chase him.
I was going to say, it would take a lot of time to chase him out there.
And look what they're doing also. So they're not even using heroes to check the runes. They actually just send a Chen creep top, kills the water rune, Supreme goes bottom, and now Nisha has to go base. So really good stuff coming out from Into the Breach in this early game.
I mean, this bottom lane as well, is it sort of expected that it was going to be a struggle for the Void in this sort of lane matchup? Because at the moment, Chrysalis, he's having the biggest struggle when it comes to finding farm in this lane.
Yeah, last time versus the Death Prophet, he did excellent, but he was versus that Pango. Ahri, with his Tiny, he's able to do quite a lot more.
And more to sort of come from him in terms of what he's able to offer, if that second game was anything to go by.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely, I mean, this is really problematic. I'm astonished how low Crystal's CS is.
Top lane is Rezo. We able to rebound away in time. We're getting so low. I mean, at least here with the bottle's eye, it's able to fuel Resolution back up a bit.
He's got to be careful, though. It looks like he wants a sidekick off of the wave. Okay, he'll be able to heal up a little bit. He'll be safe now. Mid lane.
See the rotation. Keeping him in range of the EMP. Not quite able to find the toss back, though.
Nice try. I mean, look at this, though. Kadaro now also coming. Double net creep.
Can they still do something here? He's bottling up.
He's got both spells. He should be able to distance himself. Let's see.
There's the opening. There's the follow-up. Tornado as well. Buying time. I mean, Cold Snap's there. Nisha will try and get his way out of there, but they have the Avalanche. They'll pop the stick charges. TP's coming in, but it's too late. Nisha goes down.
Damn. Into the Breach. They know who to put the attention onto this game. They have the Catapult alive. Not for long. Good move from Zayats. Still can put some damage onto the tower here, but I love the emphasis that they're doing.
And the thing as well, folks, I mean, it's sort of the fact that it took them a little longer to get the kill, it works out better for them because Supreme, he just got the Urn picked up. He's got two charges ready to go.
And they even get the Power Rune too now on the exiting rotation for Ahri. Yeah, this is massive moves again here, catching Nisha pre-6. And Nisha kind of played it a little cocky too, right? In mid, he's like, oh, there's not a third hero. I can swash and do some damage rather than just get away. Already stuck around. All three corners farming really well.
That pressure continues to add up on this bot lane. Supreme with these Urn charges. He wants to make a move on bottom. Secret no. Chrysalis staying very well hidden. And yeah, Supreme knows. He doesn't want to waste any more time hovering around for kill opportunity. He'll get back to mid.
Good rotation. Either way, he doesn't linger. I like it. Like, he doesn't linger long. Nisha starts to make like a move bottom to perhaps like set up the counter gank, but Supreme's already in mid. Does miss the tornado mid, but does burn away the mana.
Good toss here from Ahri. They'll set up As well with the Avalanche onto the 2, and they'll get that kill. That's Puppey going down. Chrysalis trying to get Ari in return, and with the Maledict, Ari will be sure to pop.
At least gets himself some type of trade kill, but either way, Jibe having a free game. Tread's finished up. He's going to have 6. So now it's likely that Crystals can't actually show up inside the lane unless he gets a +1. So going to be a very leveled to Death Prophet, which is excellent for the game for Into the Breach, as we said before. Having early points in silence are going to be huge. He's going to have those levels of silence probably at like level 8, and he's going to hit it really early on. Even versus Pango versus Void, that's going to trip them up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, are you sort of shifting the lanes around to get anybody down on this bottom?
I don't think you can just like full shift. You might want to just make a rotation with like Pango to gank him or something like that. Nisha though again.
He swashbuckled in aggressively. And he's going to jump down. He's got Puppey by his side. He's going to try and make his way over towards the Arcane, and we'll grab it. A little bit risky there around the mid.
My thrift rewarded.
They're continuing to put all this attention onto him.
Yeah, now very hard to sort of make moves at all outside of going directly for the Dawnbreaker. Solar Guardian's online. Oteka will be ready to respond to any plays that Secret make elsewhere.
Yeah, best move I feel like for Secret is actually trying to go for this top play. It's not that easy, but if he shows at all, Rezo can just jump right onto him. They might have enough. They should have enough chain stun if they get the initial stun.
Well, he's playing it careful though. You know, uses the hammer but keeps his distance, knowing that his escape mechanism has been used. Doesn't want to get caught in range of the rebound.
Yeah, it's impacting his farm, of course. You see he's getting quite low, at least on the chorus, but not dying, most important for this Dawnbreaker.
Absolutely. And it's something that he did a fantastic job of last game, I believe. Didn't die at all.
He did read the map kind of perfectly with all those rotations. And yeah, now they can make the threat. They see the Pango bottom. Supreme immediately makes the rotation. It's going to get spotted, but Nisha could be under threat here of the Solar Guardian if he gets caught.
Okay. The catch here with the Avalanche. Toss won't hit. See if they can still continue to chase. Rolling Thunder's at the ready, and he'll make it away from there. Not quite able to keep him controlled in the full combo.
Okay, and he's even going to be able to farm with it a little bit, so... Bit of a mess up there from Into the Breach. No Solar Guardian now for the upcoming moments. Now maybe Secret... never mind. 7 defense for bottom is probably still too hard. No Chrono available yet. Actually, Void hit 6, but they're too low. So yeah, tower's dead.
I see the Ghost coming out as well from Jibe. They don't want to be fighting into that one. They'll let the tower go down. They'll just do their best to try and get a bit of a trade up top with a push of Resolution.
He's not. I thought he might use Unleash for this tower, just so he can get the trade push at the same time. He's holding on to it, though. He's just using Sidekick. Dying at a similar speed. Obviously a little bit faster with Death Prophet, but...
See now over towards the mid. I mean, Insta Breach there. They're starting to push forward. Supreme. Just be careful whilst the Maledict is upon him.
He has backup near him, though. Chen and Tiny again, looking to play around the mid lane.
Yeah, Nisha having to be careful how far he steps up.
I like how Otaker's playing, honestly. Like, even though the Solar Guardian ends up missing, like now he's bottom side, so he can farm the triangle. He's avoiding Rezo, because Rezo will just kill him if he does show up in the lane. And now they're looking to play around this mid lane. Level 8, so silence is available. Jibe 3-1-3 skill build.
Got the Moonlight. Silence as well, but not quite able to get any instant detection down onto him. Silence is fine.
They're trying to keep this catapult alive as long as possible. Even an extra melee creep to tank potentially. The stupid catapult, though, is hitting him heroes. There we go. Gets one hit on the tower. Up top, though, Rezo. He does see Otaker.
He's got him. See if Supreme can take him down in return.
Right after I complimented him, he does go top. I really didn't think that he was going to go back up there. That's the scary lane for him to really show. Good job from Rezo, sticking himself up around there. Chrysalis
got the chrono. He'll get the catch. And time dilation also down onto Ari, stopping there being any initial help, but there's still the opportunity for Avalanche to come out inevitably. So Jibe will live for now. See Nisha look to close in on him with the Rolling Thunder. And with Christus on top of him, I mean,
it's a lot of heal.
He's also going to get this Solar Guardian. Jibe surviving a little longer than maybe Secret would have hoped for him to do so. And with that move, he's able to break away from them. They'll get Jibei out to
Nisha.
Nisha. He'll jump over towards Ari, but Ari turns with an avalanche. They'll lose Nisha for this play.
And Jibei now potentially chasing himself here. He has another Siphon.
I mean, they just couldn't kill him through the chrono. Even with that sort of move where they're able to hold back the initial avalanche with the time dilation, stopping that from coming up soon enough, comes out after it. They couldn't kill him during the chronosphere.
Siphon is an absurd spell, especially early game now, the way the numbers work. They actually weren't able to break. I think only the 2 of them broke it, right? I think the 3rd Siphon stuck on the Void, which didn't allow him to actually get the finish-up kill versus him from Maledic. So, into the breach again. Looking hot, and Ari in particular on his Tiny looking really good with just his small combos.
Absolutely, yeah. It seems like every single time Avalanche from him hits 3 heroes minimum.
It does feel like that. And now they didn't have damage in the last fight from the healing. Now there's Chen's Hand of God is up, and he's got mech. So maybe feeling some damage issues coming into Secret if there is just like straight up versus this Death Prophet.
I mean, we
is massive.
Yeah, we very much saw last game with Farm how Jibei was just able to build as this Razor that was just unapproachable. You know, you could not go on him. And playing the Death Prophet, a hero, if anything, even more in that nature, right? That this is a hero that you never feel good about trying to jump. Top lane, they will find Ari.
Hand of God also forced trying to save him, so Secret definitely happy with that kill. Maybe now they can look to make another move because that hand is on cooldown. They're looking to set up on bottom, Puppy. Witchblade is done for Supreme. He also wants a nice easy earn charge. And the creeps are coming in. They don't find Puppy though. But Tower, there's not a glyph available. This tower could just go down. Secret has to make a move. They do not want to lose this tier 2 this early.
I mean, they're making their way over. The Moonlight.
Hesitant to fully fight in. And
I mean, they're sort of split back up. It's only Puppy that's been left down here. We'll get set up upon. Combo from Supreme. Puppy. It's going to get chased a bit past the tier 2 tower. He'll go down. TPs are now to come in from Secret. Nisha
nice
not
dodge.
able to find the angle on Jibei, indeed, as he sidesteps it in the trees. See if Nisha wants to continue to commit on this. He doesn't. He rolls out.
And now they can finish tower.
I mean, it's going 14 minutes in. They'll lose their safe lane tier 2 tower, Secret.
That's I mean, now they can take outposts. They can control this whole area. So not only do they have Dawn ult, but they also have map control on this side. This is massive moves really from Into the Breach. And now they know there's no Pango ult. So right now they could still look to be a little aggressive, even though they don't have Exorcism. Nisha's their only real fear.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you know, this draft from Into the Breach, you definitely expect them to want to put the pressure on early, but being able to do it, and being able to do it as fast as they're doing it this game, is pretty insane.
Yeah, because eventually there's going to be these points where it's like if Secret whiffs one spell, one ulti, it's going to be a rush shot immediately from Into the Breach with a Death Prophet. Secret, they can't really take the same advantage of like just going into Roche if an ult is missed or something like that.
I mean, can they get their jungle back under control, Secret?
I don't think so. I think it's versus Chen and Death Prophet, it's extremely difficult. Also, didn't get to point out, but fun build that Jibei did also last game, this lens, it's insane with Spirit Siphon. It's so difficult to break it, as we saw there, of course. Nisha does have Diffusal done, so quite a bit more damage and potential, at least from him. But Chrysalis is still on the massive road to recovery.
Yeah, a long way before he's really going to be able to have impact.
Ari.
Well, they can catch it. Here we go.
Ooh.
There's the chrono, but Solar Guardian is up. They're not going to have the damage. Barely taking a scratch there from anything Into the Breach. Nisha will continue to try and commit him with the Rolling Thunder. They'll lay down the Death Ward. Jibei in a bit of trouble, but nah, he's fine. Heals are there from Kadaro. No kills to be had at all so far from Secret in this fight. Resolution will jump forward. He's able to grab a Taker, but the hammer's at the ready. Taker trying to get up to the high ground, but Rezo commits it with the BKB. Will be able to finish it. See if Rezo can find more. BKB soon to be coming to an end, though, and doesn't want to stay dancing around too dangerously close to the rest of Into the Breach, has to back off. So Rezo able to redeem that team fight a little bit, getting the kill on a Taker.
And it's pretty good. I think the fact that Exo is wasted also is huge. If Jibei can make something of it, though.
I mean, look at this back mid. Into the Breach, they're not done. They're not done yet. They're going to look to try and get more. They get the Tornado out onto the two of them. Seeing them chase with the Siphon. Hit with the
cast?
Shard. Puppey is doing a lot of damage. Jimmy's going to get caught by the arrow. Secret, they'll be able to take him down.
Oh, yeah, that's why you picked Doctor, right? The cask alone there, playing themselves. That was beautiful. And that all salvages everything. It looked a little awkward there for sure for Secret, but that kind of makes up for everything. Supreme's still
Into
on
the
the
breach.
hunt, though.
They're still not done. They want to make sure that they come out in the better spot out of this. He'll go for the TP away, and there's nothing to stop him.
Nice.
So Supreme at least able to poke back in, take out Zayats for what, of course, was a second time in that fight, considering the buyback. So Zayats actually off the map for quite a lot of time, considering the early minutes here. 17 minutes in, and he's out for nearly a full minute.
What a wild whole situation. And that's something that's always going to have to be something that Secret does factor in. But you got to be careful for Chronos. Make sure you have damage, because your heroes do not really provide the most inside of Chronosphere, and there's tons of sustain.
There's so much sustain, yeah.
So, yeah, got to be a little careful. Rezo, though, he's actually going to be the one we got to keep the eyes on. He's kind of the carry until the Void's going to be back. He's 3,000 ahead.
They're going to try and go for the Roshan.
The two of these can definitely sneak it. Marcy level 12.
It's working. I mean, into the breach, unlikely to scout this out. It's a Forge Spirit around. I was going to send it in.
Boy knows.
Now, can you continue to commit, or do you have to get out?
They got to run. Rezo's got BKB available. He's got to jump away.
Yeah, not able to make that sort of sneaky Roshan play that they hoped for.
It's a good attempt, though, with the Unleash. I didn't really think that they would even attempt it this early on with it, but cool try, half HP. Solar Guardian's back up, level 12 on Otaker. Everything up for the side of Into the Breach in about 10 seconds. That Exorcism's ready.
Without a doubt, though, Rezo very much having the game that he kind of expected to have last game, right? As you say, just being that strong frontline force, damage, everything considered. You've got it all here as the core Marcy. And, yeah, you could just sort of keep this point of the game covered whilst Crystallis looks to recover.
Yeah, and this game, it's easier for him to stick on the carry hero. Like last game versus Slark, he could never hit him, because either he's pouncing away, he's shadow danced, he's depth shrouded, etc. This time around, Dawnbreaker, you can't escape. You're gonna get gone on by Rezo, and he's gonna stick on you. And he did actually find also the Dagger of Ristul again, so probably one of the best items you can find for Marcy. That and the Brigand's Blade, which he did find also. Are pretty ridiculous ones on that hero.
Dire are scanning.
Got to watch out for this, though. Blink Dagger on Ari. We saw how much of an impact he was able to have last game after he picked that up.
I imagine they're going to smoke here. They have BKB also on Jibe. He also finds the Eye of Vizier, so cast range on Spirit Siphons with that Aether is pretty crazy.
They're going to go in themselves to finish Roshan.
Okay.
I don't think Secret will necessarily expect this straight-up move.
It dies very fast to level 2 Exo, too.
At Secret, they have the ultimates, Chrono and Rolling Thunder, but they won't be able to make the move in time.
It's gone. Heads up move. And they're smoking.
They want
to use the end of this Exo.
See if they can catch Puppey. Will show himself there, trying to get rid of that creep. Now look to try and dive a little bit around the tier 1. Meanwhile, back over in the mid, Otaker does get caught out. Maybe a bit too focused on the move top. Otaker caught by surprise there as Rezo continuing to lead the way here for Secret in this mid game.
Dire's middle tower.
Takes out the tier 1 mid.
Radiant's
Turn up top. They've got the Death Ward outside.
They've got the damage easily this time round. Puppey in position. See elsewhere, the fight continues. They're trying to get on top of Supreme. Rezo continue to attempt to close the gap. Nisha has to roll out for the time being, or can maybe roll back in towards Kadara, because the heals are out for Secret. As Secret sort of from the top lane to the bottom lane, despite that Roshan and Aegis going into the hands of Supreme, overall, they still take a solid sort of stretched out team fight. Supreme, he really wants to poke back in on this. I mean, it's 2 versus 5. Ari, he's going to look to go in with the jump. They're back in with the Solar Guardian. Puppey trying to hide here with the Shard, but he'll still fall. They'll focus Supreme. He'll be ready to come back with the Aegis. They'll take him down once. Can they do it again? Otaker getting bashed here by Crystallis. Supreme as well, bashed to pieces as well. It's a 3K lead now for Secret.
Uh-oh.
That whole sort of scenario post-Roshan, disastrous for Into the Breach.
Disastrous for Otaker as well. Multiple times now he's getting caught. He shows himself mid, and that causes the full sequence of everything, really. If he doesn't get picked off mid from the Marcy, then even top or something, he might have Solar Guardian for the initial chrono to save Death Prop. It's a huge sequence of events because he gets picked off, and huge credit to Rezo for finding him now a couple times now.
Yeah,
it's pretty massive, really. This Dawnbreaker is massively far behind, and that's the carry, too, where you see him jump in and just die.
Absolutely, yeah, Rezo crushing it this game. What would you sort of think's been the main factor, the main difference between Rezo being able to pop off here in Game 3, whereas in Game 2 it just didn't happen?
I think it is just the fact that he can actually stick onto the carry hero. I think like last game he probably felt awkward because he just never can catch the Slark.
Yep.
This game, if he's just on Otaker's dead. Otaker's that underfarmed at this point that it's super easy. Even when he gets BKB or Deso or anything, Rezo will be able to just stick on top of this Dawnbreaker. And now full Ags for Nisha. Oh boy. So that minus armor, that lucky shot's going to be applied in pretty much every fight, which will just benefit Resolution even more. And of course, yeah, Brigands and all the damage that he's going to be dealing in the fight too.
And a bit of
Still, into the breach, smoked up, looking to fight.
Rezo's in position. He's able to put the BKB, and now he's ready to turn. Xibe puts the BKB, trying to get away, but Resolution just staying on top for the moment being. Gets underneath the tier 2, will be fine, but Otaka, after the Solar Guardian in, he's just left at such a distance for the rest of his team, they cannot save him. Rezo gets the double as he moves over towards Supreme. Into the breach, struggling underneath their tier 2 here against the Precious Secret. He'll come in Chrysalis, drop down the Chrono to end the life of Xibe as every core's been taken out. And the supports, they look soon to follow as Chrysalis will run down Kadara. Ari surrounded by Secret. It's a team wipe as everything just has proceeded to go completely downhill despite them getting that Roshan and that Aegis. It just didn't matter whatsoever. Everything's fallen apart completely beyond that. And Resolution just continues to pop off and really ready to gear up and carry the game. He already is your BKB basher. They just can't deal with his Marcy.
No, and look at Otaker. Every single time, look what happens to him. Jumps into the fight with Solar Guardian. He looks like a support. Really, just the way that these fights are playing out every single time as Secret has fully addressed the Dawnbreaker core. And yeah, Rezo, as you said, having a flawless game this time around and able to actually stick on targets. They're the ones that smoke into him, and he's the one that says, oh, hello.
Yeah, looking to be very hard now for Into the Breach to be able to redeem themselves after those last few minutes of play. They've fallen so far behind. All three cores at the top, of course, are all Secrets now at this point.
Even Crystal is having a game 6-0-4 on the Void after having a struggle of a laning phase. He's fully caught back up. And then we're seeing, time dilation, how devastating it really is inside these fights, too. This game we can actually talk about a little more, as you saw last fight, the triple kill. Time dilation versus Invoker versus Death Prophet, even versus Tiny, can be incredibly disruptive. But yeah, I think story of this game, mostly for me at least, is Rezo able to just be the carry and shut down the opposing carry. Like Xibe was able to last time as the Razor. It's the Marcy this time shutting down the Dawnbreaker.
Ari. A dangerous spot here. Oh, he's going to blink in it. They're trying to make a play. Coming with the Solar Guardian. If they've got enough damage to get the kill on Zayas, they haven't. He's out with the leap. Otaka will try and commit in. But again, another Solar Guardian into his death.
And Ari, will he live? It's going to be close. He does. Whew. I think did he consume a Fairy Fire there to survive? I think that's, yeah, he did. Okay. I think he might have actually ticked otherwise. That was close. And they're picking, the thing is, Owen, they're picking these fights. It's them choosing to go for these for the Dawnbreaker. Like, Otaker, he's 1-6 this time around.
It's rough. It really did feel like that fight was a bit of a sort of a last attempt from them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As Secret full control of the game right now. 26 minutes in. A game that's turned pretty drastically from sort of around that 15-minute mark where we saw Into the Breach being the ones to take an early tier 2 tower bottom. They just weren't able to maintain control. Resolution causing all sorts of issues for them.
I mean, the graph tells it all. Just like you said, like if you pull it up, look at 20 minutes. Literally 50-50, and then boom after just a couple of these fights in Secret, so.
With the heroes they have and how much of a struggle Otaka's had in the last few moments. Hard to see what they can do to turn things with Ciari getting the jump onto Puppey. And Puppey is able to walk away from this. Not enough damage to come in even from a distance there. Okay, Sunstrike, they needed that. A little bit of a morale boost there for Into the Breach, with Supreme being able to snipe Puppey on the escape.
It only just gets him, too. I think that was close to the high. I think it was like the 300 damage Sunstrike. He had just about 300 HP, so at least they get something. Now they have BKB for Dawn, but at this point, it's come out so late. He got a little greedy, right? He had the Deso queued up. He tried to keep going for these fights. Disassembled now to go for this BKB, but he wanted this BKB like 9 minutes ago.
And it's just, you know, especially with how much he's fallen behind, it's just so hard for him to commit in aggressively as he's been trying to do so with the Solar Guardian. If Chrono is available, they're just going to Chrono him, a BKB or not. He will die very, very easily.
Yeah.
Rezo.
They kept the catch, maybe. Uh-oh.
Not enough
now who got
burst.
the catch on
He's
who?
able to put the BKB in try and turn, but actually they have the physical to take him down through it.
He didn't sidekick at the start. He ulted and then I think hit a full sequence of punches and then popped the sidekick.
Yeah, maybe that extra bit of a burst. I mean, either way, as low as he was against the Ghost were coming out anyway, they may have been able to sort of kind of burst through that BKB with that physical damage.
Probably, but yeah, he just didn't get the sidekick off for some reason. All right, good kill. I mean, a pretty big one. It's a BKB as well.
Let's have a look again. There you go. I still on cooldown at the start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was
still on cooldown.
Fair.
He got it
Good
off
call.
as soon as he could, yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like, oh, he took a second on it, but yeah, fair enough. A pretty big kill. Can they get something else out of it, though? Because it was Ghosts expended.
It feels like they need to.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
But they actually, they also have to just be careful how far they overextend versus Chrono, so I'm probably thinking that. Kadaro. Standing kind of AFK, microing his creeps. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, sometimes, you know, it happens. You know, you find yourself in the river, you're doing your stuff with your creeps, and you're like, hang on, where's the hero? And he'll be dead.
He's got a lot he's doing, right? He's captaining, he's controlling creep. Like, just playing Chen is not fun. Up top.
Here we go, Rezo.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a very dead Invoker. There we go. A couple of flurries of punches from the Marcy. And Supreme falls. Ari as well in the river. He's gone. Roshan's up. Secret. They're ready to take it.
And during all this, they haven't even had to expend much of anything. Chronosphere still at the ready. I mean, they had to use the Unleash for Marcy, but whatever. Winning cooldown. Maybe they get Nisha. Looks like they are potentially setting up onto him here. Nisha.
Let's see what they got.
They got the silence.
Good opening. Is the damage quite there? Good for Fear as well. He's off to the side. He's able to...
No way.
He's actually out. Roll up with the TP.
Nope.
Oh, no, there we go. Taker able to swing him down there with that final club of the hammer.
These kills do matter. They're pretty important. Any type of kill you can get at this point on Into the Breach, it's pretty big. Nice little bounty there going for the Dawnbreaker, much needed. But at the same time, yeah, Roche does go the other way.
I mean, I guess in this game, very much for Secret, it's not, they don't need to rush things, do
No
they?
rush.
They have 3 cores at a great spot, and all 3 very much ready to scale, get those next few items online. This game 3, you don't want to take any risks.
Yep, you all scale unbelievably hard, honestly. Like Marcy, even buffing up these heroes too. If you get to 25, you get this sidekick spell immunity for your cores and everything too. He's gonna have AC pretty much done as well. They're getting stronger and stronger. But they still probably want to just look for these fights. They're gonna go for some D wards here. At first, they'll find this one.
Into the Breach is on the hunt for them.
Does anyone have a gem? Puppey does, right? Yeah, Puppey has a gem.
Smoke on smoke here. Who's to get the jump? Smoke will be dispelled.
Ooh.
They're going to go for a taker. They'll drop the Chrono. He's able to get the BKB off in time. See if they still have enough damage. Off to the side, Rezo. He's ready to go. In on top of Ari. A taker tries to swing away, but the bashes are coming in. He'll look to pull his way out of there with a hammer, but Chrysalis stays on top of him, takes him out. Both for Taker and Ari to fall. See Jibei try for the turnaround with the ghosts out, but the entirety of Secret just throws themselves on top of him. 4 dead on Into the Breach. Only Kadaro able to survive.
Easy control. I mean, Rezo solo kills the Tiny, moves on to the next target, moves on to the next, while the Chronosphere just controls the poor Dawnbreaker. At this point, Secret, the fights can be taken in a lot of different ways. But this one, again, they find no taker. Every single time they find the Dawn.
He's had a tough game. He's had a very, very tough game. They've shut him down completely and definitely making up for the lack of kills they're able to get against him in game 2. Killing him time and time again. And now here with the push. Up to the mid set of Rax. Looks like they're going to fall back, though. Respawns are coming in from Into the Breach. And as we say, you know, Secret, they're not in any rush here.
No, BKBs are on cooldown as well. They don't want to, you know, no funny business. Get back, pick up your like 5,000 gold of items for each core. And then look to go again when BKBs are ready. Rezo, level 20 has been hit, plus AC finished. Of course, we see for Nisha, I believe his Octarine is done. Yeah, flurry of items coming out for those cores. As for Into the Breach, they do have those, at least the 3 BKBs on the cores, but now starting to really feel like the lack of ways to start fights, lack of damage, and lack of everything when they are at this deficit.
I mean, do you see the potential for any sort of high ground toss-back plays to get them back in on this?
Not really too much, honestly, because I feel like Secret might just use that as an initiation tool. If you get tossed back, they just might commit in themselves.
And at this stage with the levels as well, you know, we're very much seeing Puppey have a great time with the Voodoo switcheroo. He's very much enjoying this one on the Witch Doctor.
He's honestly killed it. I was a little doubtful of the Witch Doctor pick, but the casks and just his survivability overall has been amazing.
I mean, I
think fight Supreme. I mean, he'll see him for a sec.
Oh, has he got anything else? He's got his dust. Supreme, he's looking very, very dead. Tries to push them back with a deafening blast. And yeah, you bet he did. He wouldn't have been happy if he didn't. He put the work in there for that one, Puppey.
Sure did.
But yeah, I mean, this sort of bit worked because he got the Voodoo switcheroo online pretty much as soon as he could, right? The sharp was straight out. And as you say, multiple times, they're just not able to take him down before he disappears and the Death Ward comes up.
Yeah, they honestly got played by him a couple times, like in mid in particular when they overchased. Those kills definitely did add up because that's when Into the Breach did have a little bit of a window.
A little bit more damage now if I take it having his Deso. But as we've seen, BKB or not, still ways to deal with this Stormbreaker.
He's so far behind. He's just going to get bash locked from either a Marcy or from a Void.
Oh.
Kidaro. Oh. Lucky.
Ari, he's going to get some backup. Taker's going to come across with the Solar Guardian. Then we'll be able to deal with Puppey this time. Ari looking still pretty dead. It's Chrysalis, he's got Chrono. A little short on the mana, though, and won't look to commit again. There is respecting that the Aegis coming to an end. Aegis timing out now.
Saving the Chrono for more of their push play rather than just using it on a kill, it looks like here. Setting up for top, smoked, waiting for someone to show for the wave.
Yeah, I mean, if they just go in.
Rezo will just insta-kill.
Yep. This Marcy's ready to go for you. Oh, he's in with the blink. Not quite able to get the sort of smooth opening that he wanted to. He ran as well off the mark, but the bashes are coming in, and Supreme doesn't stand a chance. He's out of the game. They turn over to Wazo Take. He's popped the BKB. Will look to pull himself away with the hammer, but Rezo bashes him down. Double kill for Resolution, and he's ready to get the push going as well. They can buy back if they want, but although the big ult's there, Chrysalis has Chrono if it's needed. Triple kill for Resolution. Secret, after a struggle in game 2, very much back to the form that they expected to turn up with against Into the Breach here in this game 3.
Yeah, and Rezo completely popping off this game, really. Just not even letting Otaker have much of a game on this Dawnbreaker because of how well the lane went and how much he caught him, right? The way that he was able to catch him multiple times, especially the one after the Roche. Smooth sailing.
So probably have one more fight in them Into the Breach. Secret, we'll see if they want to stick around after this. Still a tier 2 to be taken down bottom. And again, with the heroes coming back into play, they won't pressure the tier 4s quite yet. They'll continue to draw this out. Take it safe.
They can just make the move that the waves are going to naturally push in, walk their way to bottom, grab the rune, get the arcane, and meet up with their buddy Nisha.
Oh, he's got full Daedalus now. Rezo.
I thought he was getting the Abyssal. All right. I mean, I like this much more. I think this is perfect.
Having exactly the game that he set out to have in game 2, but didn't quite get there. This game, he's making up for it completely.
He will. I mean, he's going to kill most heroes in that. Even the first flurry, second flurry, probably everybody's dead.
is under attack.
And very much showing, the other teams in its qualifiers that you might have to have the resolution Marcy in the back of your mind. I mean, it's just across the board, Marcy likely to be a hero targeted in the draft anyway.
Yes.
But ever more so the reason to do so against Secret.
I mean, we've seen it now run in... I've seen it ran 3 roles, right? I think Ana played it as carry. We've seen it as... Actually, 4 roles. I think we played it off-lane, carry, 4, and 5. So, more is a 4. But now off-lane 4... in that carry role has been seen.
Pain reservoir.
I think Gunner, of course, played it mid, but this was before it got changed, I'm pretty sure. But could probably see him do it again. Ari being stalked. Everybody on the side of the breach just trying to find any farm possible. Well, Rezo looks for the
He's just
solos.
in. He's in on the mid. Couple of rounds of punches, and Otaker's taken down 100-0. Doesn't even need to break a sweat there or pop his BKB, Rezo.
Yep, get your OS frogs out at this point for sure when Marcy gets to this type of point. Nice little 3,000 damage versus the carry. Oh, and ooh, a DD rune.
Oh, there we go. Give
Oh,
him the
be
ball.
lovely. Give it a Rezo. Give him the bottle too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rezo like gets himself all postured in his seat a
He
little
had
bit
he
more.
was
He's
all
like,
right. Oh, they're not ready for me.
Okay, does he kill them in the first flurry with DD? I think he does.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Let's see
If he gets a crit, a 2, absolutely, it's just over.
He's
It's
got
just
cooldown.
over.
10 seconds on it.
All right,
10
all right.
seconds on
He's gonna wait. He's gonna wait. And
Maybe
then
his team's telling him to. Maybe he's like, hey team, let me just do my thing. Let
Yep.
me do it.
Just let him go in 1v5, get the rampage. He can do it.
Okay, maybe
He
not
has
that
the
much.
tools.
They're patient though. They wait. Roche is back. Ooh. Oh, give him the Ags.
I mean, you like the act. You say it's got potential, right?
Only because it drops the
'Cause it-
cooldown to 40 seconds. I don't think anything else about it is good.
Well, you're saying, well, because the pulses go through the BKBs and such, right?
But that's already the case. You know?
True.
But I mean, your abilities are going to be pulsing more. But yeah, they're just going to give it a.
Yeah, you can have more pulses.
Yeah, I mean, it needs a little more love. It's not great yet. Ags Void makes much more sense.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
look, it's
That's
nice
cool.
for Chrysalis as well. He now gets to be the top spot in network.
Exactly. You got to give him something.
Yeah, let him have that. Oh, well, so the Guardian
Look
coming
up.
in. They're actually in onto Rezo.
They got him.
Oh, they got him. That's a big kill. Taking out Rezo. Can they get more? I mean, he's just rolling it up to the high ground, but the BKB's up from Supreme. Jump forward. That's a great chrono onto the 3 of them. As the Death Lord out to the side. Supreme's out of the game. Bash is coming out over towards Otaker. There'll be a buyback from Supreme, but nobody else having the luxury of a buyback on into the breach.
Well,
it's just Ari and Supreme left alive.
Well, they got Rezo. The
They
raid
did.
boss was taken out.
They did. They were able to sort of spoil his fun, right, with the DD.
A little bit.
He did pop it, right? That was...
He did.
He did. He did not get
Chrysalis-
to get his 1v5 rampage that he dreamed of.
Chrysalis gets to come in and have fun though. Gets his best chrono yet.
That
So
was a solid one.
yep. Trade off of fun between the players.
Looking for that final set of Rex to prepare to close this one up.
Dire's bottom tower.
Creep wave, fortunately spawning in time there to block the arrow that was heading the way of Supreme. Oh, he's in, and he's out.
Uh-oh.
Drop the Meteor. Chrysalis. He's going to
Supreme.
step forward here, ready to get on top of Supreme. Supreme, he'll go down. Out of the game, 90 seconds. Ari's gone as well. They'll have a couple of heroes up in 10. We'll see if they play it out, but they might not even get the chance to do so. They'll call it. GG is called. Game 3 will go the way of Team Secret. So they'll take this series 2-1 against Into the Breach. This Game 3 very much showing that it was back to business from Secret. There wasn't any messing around in this one. And Rezo, he dies at the end. But other than that, this was his game. You could tell, you could see it as well on the cams. He came to have fun, play some offlane Marcy, and he certainly did both of those things.
Yeah, but definitely some signs of life for Into the Breach and some signs of weakness for Secret. Getting outplayed quite a bit in that second game, and the game was fairly even for some points too. It just like mid game just exploded. These Into the Breach rotations caught them off guard. So I think that shows a lot for Into the Breach. So hopefully for them, we'll get to see them a little bit more because I think this is a team that's been on the rise all year. Definitely a fun team to watch, especially with some newer players. But Secret, like you said, back to business. Definitely showing off a little bit here with that Rezo Marcy, and something that's going to, other teams, like you said, they're going to have to keep it in the back of their minds.
Absolutely, yeah. Having that sort of ability to be flexible with a meta hero right now, such as the Marcy, can definitely be a bit of a difficulty to draft against. But there we go, seeing the scoreboard. Chrysalis as well, also having a clean game this time round. Very much struggled on the Troll, but back on the Void this game. That hero, that carry hero that every carry wants to play right now in this patch. 11-0-11. Flawless stuff there from him. And as you said yourself, some fantastic chronos to close things out. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this series. Comes to an end. Secret will be staying up in the upper bracket. They will go forward to play against the winners of the next series that we are about to have here, so don't go anywhere. And of course, Into the Breach, they will get another chance. They'll be down in the lower bracket playing against Waterrune Enjoyers. So that'll be their next follow-up to their story here in the qualifiers. So yeah, last series of the day coming up here in the Western Europe qualifiers. It's an exciting one. Alliance versus Entity. Fog sort of looking forward to that one. What are we expecting? Because it's hard to expect anything, I feel, with the way that some of these series have gone today. We've had some back and forth, and the team that has been the underdogs in the previous two series, they've shown up to a pretty decent level.
Yeah, I give Entity a pretty big advantage, of course. We haven't gotten to see Alliance for some time, but yeah, this should be at least a fun one. I really like watching the Entity boys, to be honest with you. I think they're a really, really fun team that's been up and coming for quite some time. But let's see if Weehaw and the boys are able to prove people wrong in what they're able to make happen.
Absolutely. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a short break, and then we'll be back with a final series for Western Europe today, Alliance versus Entity. We'll see you in a few minutes.